While it could still go anywhere, this one has gotten Everest written all over it. For esports, the current kings of the hill, will see if that remains the case. I feel like it's very rare, honestly, that the team that gets there first ends up coming out victorious by the end of those games, because you have to be so good at making sure no one's leaking through. It's essentially a reverse ship sinking, and if you don't got the duct tape ready, if you don't prevent every single player from getting up that mountain, you're going to get completely smothered.
So glad that they cut over to New Happy there for a second, because that's who I was interested to see where they are going to go. Are they going to try to do that long wrap to get on the north side of Everest, or do they just kind of play it from here? Do they play it and maybe try to make their way up the western side? Again, remember, Foot, the only team at the top right now, and every other team on that side is a compound that they are completely comfortable in playing. LG now arriving a little bit later, and they're going to find a lot of space available for them to play on the eastern side of this mountain. They
were scouting it from pretty much a kilometer away, and now realizing, well, I haven't seen any movement east, let's go for it. And here you go, full on claiming it as we speak. I don't think Foot are going to do too much to try and force them off. As we see Beamy bolt in hands. It's one of the few players that will still stick with a good old bolt action, despite Dragon Ups now being in play.
Absolutely love seeing it too, as T-Bone just sending a few shots across the bow, let them know that we're here. And now Legacy, they're getting a little bit close. Let's see if they commit to the whole push up here. And it looks like they are. LG should hear these vehicles coming. Are they ready? Are they prepared for this push?
It wouldn't be a start to a group stage if America's teams weren't fighting one another. Let's see.
Tale as old as time.
LG, I think, now finding themselves a bit pinned in. They need to make space. They need to especially get outside of nade range from both these teams.
That's a good one.
Nice nade slopped on down as Rello is able to find the first.
There's a couple of good grenades there from LG, and you could see he said now going to get bounced off. They are pulling down a little bit there as let's see if they can maybe reset, as New Happy are going to pull up on the western side, and Vard is going to spot that out as well. So Foot, they had a lot of real estate up there to themselves. All of a sudden, they have a lot of neighbors.
This is what we're talking about just before. You cannot leave those gates open for everyone to enter. You will lose all kinds of control. The idea of the Everest Hill altogether is to play wide, is to take space, is to play control. You can't do that with people all around you.
And you saw New Happy with the two vehicles and the shield placed down, so they look like they're content with staying at the foot of the mountain for right now. No real need to push up any further just yet, as Luminosity still trying to put some pressure here onto Legacy. They were able to get the revive, but Flood will find RBN yet again, and now Pio is finding Ming with the mortars. What is happening right now with these mortars?
That's 150-meter mortars, who practically as short as
Where even is he?
He's from inside the compound on the southwestern side. Circle now full on Everest. It's a King of the Hill finish here for game number one.
Love to see it. LFP is down, but it looks like VHZ just going to go ahead and get on out of there. Not going to be able to get the revive onto RBN. Moving around, LFP is going to get spotted out by Snaker, so that's going to be a flush. They'll pop the tires, drop the truck, and just hide behind the hard cover for now.
I mean, they know that there's pretty much going to be no better place for them to be than here come the end of this game. They got to play their way up the hillside eventually, but for now, lay low. Let those other teams that you know are still far away come towards Everest, and hopefully off of that you can get yourself some placement points.
New Happy is getting ripped apart here by Foot, by Pio, by Mortars, by everybody. Gen G, he hasn't got a kill confirmed just yet, but you can see the pressure that's coming out here from Gen G. And now Purple Mood's starting to get involved. Asla Pentagram, as well as leaving their compound, they're starting to go over there. I think everybody now realizing just who it is at the base of that mountain.
There's something incredibly beautiful about seeing Pio fight his way up Everest. He's always the one that gets there first. He's always the one to claim it. Pio things became a thing because of his transitions up Everest to backstab people, and now he's down there at the foothills once again trying to make its way on up. But here comes Cerberus.
You saw him in the pre-game talking about how he wanted to remind everyone who the original PGC champion is. He's coming out strong so far, as Genius will make their way up. A little bit closer. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Do we even go that short? Do we even? 121 meters. Is that the distance? Are they going to go far? We'll know in just a second. Sir T and Cest, you're in trouble, mates. The former BN United teammates now trying to touch and weave just these more. Oh, getting very close.
Look, I know he was there. He learned from the best. So I would not be surprised at Mime's mortar acumen at all. Snakers will throw out the blues on grenade. Gizera the LGC Legacy boys are going to go ahead and clean up their backsides. Make sure the Genius is going to lose 2. They still have 2 up. They're going to go ahead and retreat down to their hard cover once again. But that is proactive play there from Legacy.
Very wise. They know that, again, you cannot have neighbors nearby, especially when you're only 2 alive. You cannot take those fights proper. So take them while they're looking the other way. Surprise them and have that come out in your favor. Smart playing. Very smart playing there from Legacy.
A lot of utility being used here. As, question mark going to get wiped there by 17. As we see a number of fights going on all across this mountainside. I'm not sure how much utility LG might even have left in the bag. They've been using everything on Legacy, on Genius, and it's just not worked. As Purple Mood going to drop the smokes down, see if they can have some time here to res their 2 knocks.
Yep, trying to slowly push their way on forward. They know they have Gen G ahead of them. They should be able to get themselves at least one of them up. We'll see if that's going to happen. Dogmans should be all right here as well. As now December 12 falls as well. Again, I mean, the fact that New Happy is still 4 players up, considering how much they've just been shot at by half the server, and yet they keep on resting one another. They keep getting each other back on their feet. That is impressive.
Beaten, battered, broken, and bruised. New Happy. But as you said, still 4 alive. Still very much in this game. Purple Mood, the blue at their backs. Looks like New Happy is finally going to end up losing their first player here, as Thunders will be the one that does it to them, and the crowd will go wild.
Sure they will. Here comes Thunders trying to push further forward. Everyone's looking elsewhere. No one's focusing on the team outside the circle right now. They got bigger fish to fry up close, but here comes Purple Mood. They'll enjoy every single part of it. Twisted Minds. In the meantime, Snakers finds one. Xiaowu with the other. That is Twisted out in 13.
Just like that. They had to go somewhere. Unfortunately, they waited a little bit too long. And 17 was perfectly positioned. Here's Purple Mood. Is going to clean up 2 from New Happy. Immediately taken down, immediately flushed. 2 more kills in the bag. Nod now, the only player left remaining.
What a sweep from Purple Mood, clearing every single rock. Flashes up on over. Nate's immediately to follow. Fluky, the spearhead of the operation here. Such a good player out of Purple Mood, out of Thailand. Trying to now push further forward. They still have Nan to deal with. If they find Nan here and Hikari too, they are going to be in a very good position. But, as you can see here, they have to watch out because there are players all around them still.
Ooh, Snakers. Very, very close there. Looks like Flood will have his back. He's going to take out Zest. Surti just barely inside out of the blue. He's going to keep Genius in this game for now, but he's only got 22 HP left. He's pulling right in to E36's territory, and E36 has been relatively quiet a lot. This is generally a very violent side of the mountain, but E36 has somehow managed to be okay. Here's now Foot. Ooh, Foot has found an angle on LG. This could be bad news for Luminosity.
Sure could be. Sure could be. They've been able to sit tied up on the hilltop for a while, but now with all the teams around them getting torn apart, they're starting to flex out exactly as they should be. Luminosity, 2 players knocked. The res might be possible right now. T-Bone prevents every single res opportunity from Flood and Snakers.
Man, Purple Mood is on a killing spree over there on the western side. LG just trying to see if they can maybe keep their 2 knocked players alive, but T-Bone and the boys, they are having absolutely none of it. Beanie's going to find Flood, and Snakers will go down as well, and that's Luminosity taken care of cleanly by Foot Esports.
So far into the game and only now making our way into placement points. Purple Mood now has to fend off against Pentagram as they come pushing on forward. Dogman's down already. We'll see if maybe Pentagram, Asla Pentagram here can get something going as Ada pushes around the side. First one falls down. That's Wicked taken down, but instantly Ada is there with the peak. Spots the second as well, but has to back off.
Ooh, he had to back off. There's only a hair of health left there on Tanawat. As Thunder is just going to feed that information over to his player. He hasn't even tried to res. I don't think he has any heals. Tanawat is just operating with the only HP remaining to him. Hikari will find him over the top and they'll go down. But what a performance here from Purple Mood.
Indeed. Very, very difficult to push up that hillside, especially being the last one in, but their timing was absolutely perfect. So in a game that was very tricky for them, at least they come away with 5 points. Solid play here in game number 1.
Yeah, this feels like a time now when 17 might be flicking the on switch. They do have Suju knocked right now. Are down Xiaobei as well. They can get this res, get reset. It'd be good as you see, I'm looking at Asla, Pentagram. They're actually pulling away. They're off to the north. They're taking the fight with E36. So this should be 17 being able to reset here.
Trying to make themselves some space, and right now it's working out for them. But the team that's really, I mean, kind of being fed off of this is FUT Esports. They know for a fact that their eastern side is clear. Now they're starting to look in both directions. They have perfect hilltop control. I said it earlier, it's very rare that the team that actually comes up here early comes out victorious, but they were able to keep everyone at a distance, and now they get to reap the rewards.
And I think it also helped that everybody crashed on both sides of the mountain at the same time, so nobody really had the chance to just push into FUT without having to worry about getting shot in the back. So everything working out great right now for FUT Esports. If I had to bet my channel points, that's who I'd put my money on. But we'll see how many kills they can get for it here as they pick up a 5th there. Good eyes on 8Z. We'll spot out Suju.
Yeah, 1 kill for 8Z, but 700 damage almost already. They have been shooting and absolutely everything possible as they now try to claim even more. 5 kills already. Of course, Beamy already down a helmet and probably won't find one anywhere near he either. And E36, I mean, they've been sneaking their way up the hillside. 17 will fall. Solid hold here for Pentagram. Pentagram, one of the Korean teams that people probably don't expect too much from. We'll go more into detail as the tournament unfolds because these guys have global representation records galore. They are the OGest of OG Korean PUBG players.
They have been around the block twice. And this time they're coming back as Pentagram. 7 kills already in the bag. Hikari with a 4-piece for himself. And they are still 4 strong. Complete control over that western side. Not overstepping their bounds. Not trying to put themselves in a disadvantaged position to take on E36. I think they realized that if they tried to push it too heavily, FUT was right there watching. So instead they end up pulling back a little bit and just playing it safe. For later.
I love how we came into this one saying this group is things are going to slow down a bit, and not like yesterday where we had 21 alive at 20 minutes. Well, I mean, now we're in phase 6 and we have 11 alive. But I like to think
it was slow until it wasn't, right?
I like to think that it's got something to do with this circle too. FUT gets it once more. Mountain is where this one is going to take us.
I swear, man. I feel like it's been months, maybe years since the last time I saw an Everest circle, and then we get 2 in back-to-back days. Absolutely wild, but we'll see how this one ends up. Right now, still feels like FUT's in the driver's seat. Star-Lord almost takes Vard out, 1 bullet shy.
I thought you were going to say that it's been months, maybe years since you've seen FUT get a circle, because they usually are on the opposite end of that. They normally play edge, they play it very slow, and they are not accustomed to having circles go far away from them. This time around, though, this is exactly what they would have hoped for.
Well, they look like wily veterans at it right now. They're holding on. And fortunately for them, they don't have to worry at all about their south side. They know, everybody on the map now knows exactly where everybody else is. So it makes things a lot easier as far as moving around. Now, that being said, I feel like this is going to be a very slow finish.
Well, I mean, you say that. The thing is, I feel like right now, it's everyone against FUT. There's no reason really for Pentagram to try and push into E36 all the other way around, because you know that we'll just be shut out from the top. Yeah. So I think right now, Enterforce is trying to figure out how do we get far enough away from Pentagram that they stop looking our direction so that we can actually push up towards the hillside. It has to be kind of the 2v1, the Japan and Korea versus EMEA in this one. I don't see, if you want to come out victorious, either Pentagram or Enterforce, you cannot take the fight to one another first, because FUT will win if that happens.
Well, yeah, that's all of them, though, isn't it? I mean, FUT, they're, as you said, they're in the driver's seat. They're at the top. They can just kind of wait for everything else to play out. E36 is hoping that they can just stay low, heads laid down until Pentagram and FUT are forced to fight. And then Pentagram, they're hoping that E36 will be forced to fight FUT and that they can come in and maybe capitalize off of that. Exactly. So it's really just a game of chicken more than anything between Pentagram and E36.
Also got to give it to FUT, man, a team who failed to qualify for a single global tournament this year. They were one spot shy twice this year in EMEA. Now coming to the first global of the year, being PGC, coming out this strong in the first game. Sure, circles go their way, but they have showed dominance on that hilltop, because that is a very hard place to maintain control of.
Now the only question is, can they get some more points off of this? They also, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you also have to finish it. Obviously, they're in the best position. New Circle Pop's still in the best position to win this game, but you got to win it. You got to close things out. You cannot You cannot have this great position and then end up going down in third because you made a mistake.
Also reaching a point now where these guys have been set on the hilltop shooting at everything for a while, but I'm seeing 5 spare bullets on the side of 80. They've got to be smart. They've got to be a bit conservative. They want the points. They want to close it out as fast as they can. But if you're 80 right now, I was just going to say, you've got to give up the 8 angle. You've got to get up on the hillside and get some ammo. Starlord now found once more, but still practically full level 3 gear to work with.
Boy, E36 is... They are given as good as they get here. That's twice now that they've gotten a member of Foot within a hair's breadth of getting knocked. And if that knock comes through, that opens up the door for Pentagram. It opens up the door for E36, and it really puts Foot on the, well, back foot, as for lack of a better word.
And Foot has got to be, I mean, we talked about ammo. They got to be wise about their meds, too. They came up here very early. They didn't have an entire city to loot in for the first 10 minutes of the game. They're working with very limited utility. On the side of Silver, you can see 5 first aids still need to use as well. They're all right for now. For now, I think for them, too, is just let the circle do the work for you. Force them closer towards you.
Well, the push is coming through. There you go. A knock onto Adder from K. As E36, they're doing a great job for being down to 3 and being in arguably the worst position out of these 3 teams. They are doing work.
Sure are. It's all because Foot is letting them. I feel like they're smoking themselves off, but you can see Beamy is now starting to set up a bit of a flank around here. They know they have the numbers advantage, at least against Enterforce 36. But will they be able to push off of a T-Bone is set on the backside? Over on the other as well as Starlord continues to try and maintain this space, but right now it's not going to happen. It's going to be Gold, but just coming through, and Vard down to 1 HP once more.
Again with Vard. You got to wonder how the Foot guys, how their armor and stuff is looking these days. Is Adder once again going to get re-knocked? Wicked will find K, though, so that'll slow things down just a bit. Adder will get flushed out by the Molotov as well. And now Pentagram right on the doorstep. Foot just backing off, giving up as much as they're comfortable giving.
Everyone is waiting for the perfect third-party opportunity, and because no one is in a position from where they can really instantly aggress because of the way they land, like with the way this mountain shapes, you just don't really have a chance to push on forward. But now, as I said before, the circle will do the work for them. They are going to be forced closer. Vard, though, no helmet, has to peek into Starlord, who has been hitting headshots all game long.
You can see the 3 pushing forward, 4 Foot trying to push E36 into Pentagram, and it looks like it's working as Akkad will find Sylphia, and Pentagram is more than happy to finish this off. He's going to come around the side. Easy 2 for Wicked, and now that's 10 kills for Pentagram, but that opens the door for Foot to start peeking over and see if they can take advantage. But Beamy going to get spotted by Hikari.
First one down, T-Bone down to low HP as well. If Pentagram comes out here victorious in game number 1, having to fight their way uphill, that's one of the last teams to arrive. That would be absolutely insane. One more goes down. 8 finds one in return, but it's a 2 versus 2.
Vard very low, 8 having to lead the way, lead the charge. He spots, oh no, he takes the shot at the knock player. Pentagram out of nowhere wins, steals a victory away from Foot.
What a game, what a finish, what a climb up the hill for Pentagram. Again, I said it before, these guys have been to PGC after PGC after PGC. They have been the players that have been dropped on their rosters time and time again. But now they come together, now they say, we will form a team, we will get things going. They qualify to PGC and they win their first game here too.
And you could see it on the faces of Foot Esports. How did we give that up? That is a tilter for sure, but they do not have a lot of time to try to reset. They have kind of turned things around immediately. Let's throw it over to our analyst desk to hear what they have to say about game number 1.
Pentagram starts off Group B well as they get up and at her and play a wicked game to come away with that chicken dinner to start the day strong. Congratulations to them. And it wasn't an easy win playing uphill. We'll get there in just a second. But first, let's take a look back at the matches. It's time for the highlights.
It's highlights. And you just can't help yourself, and I like it. But it's beautiful, yeah. It's a little bit of a rough start for some teams, but of course, another Everest ending here.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the guys pointed out a little bit here, they had to force this fight between it. It's kind of obvious, right? And they had the better position. The question was really, were they going to be able to kind of get that chance to strike? But Wicked just had the perfect timing, opened up, and it was a fair 3 versus 4. And yeah, it was crazy. Unfortunately, Foot peaked. They spent a little bit too much time hurting them. That kind of meant that they lost their elements, they lost the durability, and they spent too much utility in general to get into this spot where they would have had like the way upper hand rather than what we saw here in the end. Well, super well played by the Astra Pentagram guys.
I mean, Foot was in a great position. I think it's what we see right here as we see Pentagram come out when they race E36. I think it was just
this one.
They lost track of them for a second. It gave Pentagram the foothold they needed to sort of push up that hill and catch Foot from behind. And there's nothing they could do after that because it was. Once you saw that come around, you saw 8C sort of comes down, they get a trade. But it felt like from that moment on, Foot was sort of chasing the lightning. They sort of had let them come in, and once the enemy's in the gates, there's nothing you can do to push them back out. So congratulations to Pentagram on an incredible game. And it's, I mean, I don't know if I would have said they're going to win the first match, but this is a team that has incredible players who have been around for as long as I can remember.
So
they know
much
how
experience.
To do. And that's part of the first day, right? Like they come in, there's no jitters there. They know what to put up with. They're used to a crowd that's cheering for them or against them, depending on where we play. So they've got the pedigree, and I think that's where you talk about value of previous PGC experience. That'll wane, though. You know, this is a month-long event. The non-experienced will eventually become experienced, and I think you can't lean into that forever if you're Pentagram.
No, for sure. Fantastic start for them, though. And I got to say, Foot being the team that was absolutely first on Everest, them being able to get that many points out of this, get second, and they put a lot of durability damage into a lot of us. They farmed a lot of damage, and they got forced so many other teams to use their smoke, use their utility, and eventually put themselves into this spot here to potentially have won the game.
Absolutely. If you took that recommendation at the start and said go add 8C to your team, it would have worked out for you because they put up a lot of damage. Let's take a look at the top 4 teams here. Pentagram comes out with the win, 14 kills, 2,000 damage from the top of that mountain. E36 ends up in second because they managed to pull those 7 kills, whereas Foot had to play defensive. Lots of damage, but they weren't able to sort of finish a lot of those.
Yeah, also got a lot of damage taken here. Of course, good to see 7 kills on Hikari. That's beautiful. 900 damage, almost a 1K clubber in the first game once again. Good to see here from Astra Pentagram. Super experienced lineup. You're thinking so much back to so many events these guys played, but yeah, they were always kind of these like third, second rosters, right? Of course, it's going to be Hikari with 7 kills to get the man of the match here for the first game.
Easily the man of the match, and not just because of the 7 kills. This is one of those man of the matches where I say, the way that he took the aggressive stance to remove E36 from the equation, took that lead up against Foot. Nice plays, well deserved. Let's take a look at the match leaderboard, which is technically your overall leaderboard. This is the first game of the day. Pentagram will start out with 24. E36 can be very happy with that 12. I think all 3 of those teams that finished in the top 3 are very happy with. Like, I don't know that a lot of people expected them to start so strong.
No, for sure not. How, of course, happy with the 5 points they're able to squeeze out of this game here after kind of a rough start in a compound that did not matter at all.
That's true.
We're not fighting for anything. It's just a random drive-by or a random. They kind of stumble into each other.
Hello, everybody. We are back once again, and it is I, Porosaurus. It is he, Toby, and we have one game in the books. We saw Pentagram pull out a miracle on Everest and leave Foot questioning themselves here as we head into game number 2. Again, though, Toby, I mean, it was just fantastic play on the part of Pentagram. We really can't really say anything about what Foot did. I mean, it was 2 knocks, and then all of a sudden it was over.
I mean, we saw it in the end of the game, the statistics there too. Foot didn't throw a single smoke the entire game. They threw one flashbang. I don't think they had one, as we said. I mean, they got up there early, they got ready to it, and, well, they didn't come out victorious. Another team who came up to a much stronger start than I would have expected was Interforce. Starlord leading the team. The second time he qualifies as a Korean player, went to Japan to play PUBG. Second time he brings the team through to PGC. Last time around it didn't go too well. Nothing to write home about for them in Dubai in 22. This time around though, off to a solid start. Hoping to see them play with this ferociousness for the rest of the tournament.
And I mean, that's the thing, right? Is we've seen these teams from Japan so many times that have come in and have just kind of been an afterthought. Well, not anymore. Now we are seeing them come in and start very, very strong as we are heading into game number 2, our final game of the day on Erangel.
Goes already. Fast. Goes fast. You see it, well, poof, and it's gone. Let's hop on out again and see if the, well, last game didn't really bring us a whole lot, if any, hot drops. We'll see if maybe Foot off of a good game here. Feeling more confident in trying to kick away Gen G from South George. As you know, again, I said it before, neither team very eager to share, but last game they allowed themselves to.
17 fans in full throat here at the beginning of game number 2, letting their team know that they have their backs. And we did see 17 collect quite a few kills that last game, although they do end up going out, I believe, in 4th overall.
I mean, it's a tricky game to try and make something happen, and it's literally an uphill battle for anyone but Foot Esports, who was already set there. So, so not taking too much away from that. But again, I mean, this was your game to get, get the jitters out of the body, get ready, get settled in your seat, get comfortable, and get ready for the remaining 5 games to go.
Just jump into the deep end of the pool, Toby. Although our pool is
very deep,
but it's very nice and warm.
Well, yeah, it is.
You jump in and it's like, oh, there's no shock to this. That must be what it feels like for some of these teams jumping into the pool of Group B.
Yeah.
Is there's no shock. There's no cold feeling. It's warm and cozy like a bath you've been into.
And that's the thing, right? Even when we get a rough Everest circle, every team has a plan for it. Every team knows what to do. Every team know how they're supposed to set up their game plan. And most of the teams came out with, honestly, I mean, everything considered a pretty decent game. No one really had a complete fumble of game number 1. So we'll see now.
I appreciate you saving my horrible analogy like that.
I was going to see how far you were going to take it.
It was bad.
Yeah,
I was ready to commit, though, honestly.
I could tell.
Oh, well.
I could tell. Question mark, a team we didn't really get to talk too much about in the previous game because it was chaos galore from start to finish. A team who recently picked up Best of Luck. They made their way to PGC last year, and here they are again. Best of Luck now on the roster. The firepower that I think question mark needed. They're an edge team. They play it somewhat slow out there. They like to take their time, similar to many of the other teams we've mentioned already on in this lobby. But Best of Luck just give them that extra oomph. He's gonna hit every single shot. He has a pedigree that goes way back to the origins of the game itself. He's a powerhouse of a player. So look for him to go out and deal a lot of damage whenever question mark gets up close to an opponent.
Yeah, you get question mark in a good position. They will absolutely farm on you. As we take a look now with Sixel?
Shenyi Shinlong.
There we go. Shenyi Shinlong.
You can call them, we can call them Sixel. We'll do it once. It means good wishes of prosperity and business in Chinese. It's a sign that people will put up over their like offices for like good spirits for everyone, and that's what they're dreaming of. And again, I mean, we heard it in the esports news. Paperthin and Annie breaking it down, and the Death talk briefly about them too. MML, if you don't know him, he is Tian, the former Tianba player, very good at that. Boliang has played an insane career at Infantry Gaming as the IGL there, or BL, as you see him on the screen in this match. He is a phenomenal player. When Infantry Gaming was at their prime in the 2019-2020, they pretty much won everything there was to win in those years. In China, it was all led by Boliang himself.
And lest we forget Lorena as well from Tiamba. So
played together with MML.
A couple of Tiamba refugees plus Boliang from Infty, and then the Joker. The curious case
of Seuss.
Of Mr. Seuss.
Seuss is an enigma.
Kaiser Seuss.
It's definitely is an enigma. Curious to see if we get to see him a little more highlighted here in this match. We now stick in with Suchu again as he creeps on forward towards New Happy.
Okay, well, we're gonna get ready to see what Suju does here, but let's take a look at some highlights on, say, Pentagram.
자, 우선 여기는 아카드, 그런 화난 선수가 자, 인원 보정까지 하면서 유지하고 최대한 살리면서 그래도 반격을 좀 베스트. 기절이에요, 이거. GNL도 너무 많이 흔들리네요.
저기 하나 히카리가 다가가고 있습니다.
네, 외벽에 한 명 있다.
와,
그리고
You know what? They won the previous game. We got to see a highlight here. I'm just going to list off their pedigree. Adder, PGC 19, PGIS, PGC 2021, 2022, and now 2023 as well, with 4 different teams. Wicked, PGC 19, PGIS with a LATAM team in Meta Gaming, just hopping on over to South America, joining the fun there as we see Perfectix fall in. Okay, the last game it was Petulans out early, now it's Perfectix. Twisted Minds clearly in trouble here. Off to a card we go, 19, PGIS, PGC 2022 and 2023 now as well in 2 different teams. Hikari, 19, 2022 and 2023. These guys, they've been there every single time, but they've never been the name of the roster. And, well, Sushu ain't going to be the name of this match either with the parking of that vehicle.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You also hate to see Twisted losing that one early on here, as it looks like E36 and Genius getting a little bit of a scrap here over by Cube. Good grenade play from both. Going to trade back and forth. Kai, the only one down. Looks like Certi has been flushed out. Clory's still bleeding out. Yoda is very, very low. Zest trying to defend his teammate as best he can, or trying to find out maybe if he can spot out Pure Boy. Nothing hitting just yet, though, and it doesn't look like they have any more offensive throwables.
Yoda really wants to regroup here, but it's not really possible right now with an opponent still around. Yoda, the captain of the team, brought in 2 of the previous players from BN United. Added Cloris as well, star player out of the region. And now we'll see if they can stand strong here. They are looking all right for now. Yoda does have a Panzerfaust in hand. We know those can do a lot of damage, but dangerous. Dangerous to use inside buildings.
Keep an eye on the mini-map there. You see Legacy starting to creep up over here. They hear this fight playing out. We'll see if Star-Lord can figure things out and get inside. Yeah, get inside that wall. Give yourself a little bit more cover before that inevitable third party comes through. It looks like Zest is just waiting for a push to come. He's got Shoddy in hand. Let's see, get a little bit boosted up. Oh, no. Oh! He thought about it.
Oh, Oh, the punishment from up high. He had them both. He was ready for it. He even swapped back to the AR because he didn't want to waste his 1 Panzerfaust shot. But little did he know there was an entire team of Brazilians sat on the hill up high.
Oh, boy. That's as free as they're going to come, too, for him. He had a plan. He had a plan, and looks like the res will come through. K still slowly bleeding out, but E36.
E36 getting all the reses back up now. They know there's someone sat somewhere in the compound still, most likely with the shotgun in hand, so not really eager to make any aggressive plays on that. But now 4v1, even with a shotgun, you're thinking that it's likely that they could come out victorious. Utility spent here. You know what? I don't even blame them for it. Get it smart. Get it done.
Yeah.
And don't take any casualties in doing so.
Yeah, no, you don't want to, especially when you know it's down to a solo, right? You don't want to take a knock for this.
Nope.
I mean, we saw what happened to Sonics yesterday, where they lose 2, trying to do this exact same thing, right? I mean, you gotta imagine the E36 boys are thinking, let's be methodical about this.
I mean, a knock is fine in my book, but that's where you have the numbers advantage.
Sure.
You get one player knocked, instantly the second one is there to trade. And don't get fooled by the 2 great team colors. While it was Legacy before, now 4 AM coming over here to see what's happening as well. They've wrapped all the way north around. They loot out of Yasnaya and have opted to swing all the way north into this western circle and are seeing smoke, seeing vehicles in and around Cube, and they are curious.
They are very curious, but they're not going to see much. Unfortunately, they're coming at probably the worst time in this fight for them to come. Is E36 is just grouped up, trying to decide how they want to. Yeah, Zest, all he's got is
How
smoke.
many smokes does he have? He's been able to sit up here by himself for the last I don't know how long. Well, we'll see if he gets to stay here for much longer. I know at least right now what he's doing is delaying E36. Unluckily for him, E36 is a team who is never really in a hurry to get to the circle, so I don't think they really care about tanking a bit of blue.
Nope, they're taking their time about it, and honestly, the longer it takes them, the better, because right now 4 AM still kind of creeping around there. As we check in with LG, they're just over the top of Howl, and Howl is looking over here. They hear the engines. But I think LG may have sniffed this out. I think they were following a little bit close behind them and maybe saw them go down in here.
Oh, there comes the guy with a shotgun. Finds one. Not going to find more, though. Pure Boy actually was the one to take down Sylphia initially. Good thing for Enterforce is that
4 AM
4
already left.
They already left. So seeing 2 knocks could have meant pull up, but not going to happen. They will live with the scare.
And that is terrifying, too, isn't it? I mean, you know you're a 4-man squad. You don't want to give up a kill there.
Yeah.
You just do not want to have it happen. So kudos to them. They managed to pull it off. As we check out an interview here, as we check in with Batulins. Let's see, maybe this interview is with Batulins.
It took 4 days already to fix it. As a team, we discussed how this tourney would be for us, how we prepared for it, what results we want, and other regular things like what hotel, what place of tourney, that's all. We're fully motivated to take first place because we already took third and second at previous global tournaments. Thank you for your support. Keep rooting for us at this tournament.
Well, it was a Batu, but we get Spiro instead, and of course, he gets the curse of the interview as he loses his vehicle down in the trenches. Is now a Howl right behind him again. They'll make their way over. So that should be good news for Spiro. The rest of the Twisted Minds boys, you can see Batu actually spotting Lays. Oh no, Hal actually coming in. You're gonna find Scofell. You're gonna go down to Lou. And Hal just kind of getting picked apart right now. The Mad, the last one up.
Yep, Twisted Minds lost one early, but that ain't gonna count them out. Now, though, Batulin's a little greedy up over the top there. We know it's dangerous. We know there's a lot of players around. Will peek on forward, but Matt able to push on forward and find one for himself. Lou is still around. I think Matt saw him on the right side just before, so he's now gonna flank on forward. Issue is Spiro. Has him surrounded. And Matt, you are in trouble, my friend, and down he goes.
Oh, boy, Lou. Definitely covering for his captain there as Batu took a wide swing on that peak. That was very aggressive there for Batu, but all's well as ends well as another 4 points picked up there for Twisted Minds. LG, meanwhile, still slowly creeping down. They have their high hills just south of Pachinki, scouting things out for Angry Men. Meanwhile, they have compound of their own just off to the west of Twisted.
Chilling for now. And again, I mean, we know 4AM as a team that will play slow. They will come as one of the last. I mean, preferably to them, they are the last team to join Phase 1. But when that is done, coming Phase 2, look for them at some point in the game. You can pretty much do a bingo on this. At what point during the next match does 4AM full speed send it? Because it comes every game. It's just a matter of when. And right now, well, they're sat dead center just west of the chopsticks. I think they're going to be comfortable here for a little while longer, at least. If not, the circle hard shifts off to the north.
It's a matter of when and if they get away with it, right?
Yeah, true.
Like how much they lose in the process here.
Yeah.
As speaking of sends, LG, they're just going to send it right in, and yeah, look at that. They get away with that pretty easily.
Yeah, able to sit tight here for now. 3-1 split in the twin compound there. Not going to be complaining about that. Coming in late and able to get such a center position practically for free. Well, of course, scouted, but still rewarded with their daringness again. But that goes into the conversation we had earlier. Teams are going to play it a little more passive early on here. We saw Sixel on a wide rest and rotation down by Quarry before, but again, they're also a team who will gladly take their time. They'll play on the edge. They'll play it slow. Issue is they're now running into the two EMEA teams who does the exact same thing. Question mark. Foot up here. Look towards the kill feed. I would be surprised if you don't see Sixel players down real soon.
A little terrified there for Purple Mood. They got a P90 in hand as check in with question mark. Phil first, just keeping eyes on things. Probably keeping an eye on seeing. I'm not sure if they thought they maybe saw something out in the distance there. A doozy actually doing some scouting via vehicle as Foot. Big wide split on the northwestern side. New Circle's going to pop, going to donut pretty much right on top of everything. So not a lot of movement left to be made. Question mark maybe. Sixel, Purple Mood, that's about it.
I'm looking at Pentagram right now. They're maintaining a very, very greedy two-way split, and I think they will be punished if they don't opt to group up very, very soon. Gen G, full control Gatka, and now Shen Yi Shinlong trying to make the northern rep. Keep in mind, they came in from around Pachinki out east, and now they're all the way up towards Everest, trying to go for the full 360 here. But I think they're going to be cut a little bit short. New Happy, in the meantime, trying to group up on the southern side here, too. They know that there's pressure building from the southern side, and the first one there is going to be Purple Mood.
Yeah, they had a very rough game number one here as Purple Mood being real sneaky about how they push up here. They got to be careful. They're a little bit split up. You would like to see them maybe a little bit closer together, especially with us having vision and knowing what's waiting for them on the other side here. I think Tanawat maybe have, yeah, he's got the high ground. He's trying to feed that information over to him, but nope, CC108 is going to spot up Fluky, and that's going to be an opening knock there for New Happy.
Peek on over, instantly one down, and the important one to take out to the P90 falls. That is a gun that Purple Mood would really want to have in an up-close battle to come against the likes of New Happy.
But look at this, New Happy. They get the knock. They're not pushing out. They're not trying to get angles. They're not trying to figure anything out. They're just bunkering down instead and just kind of allowing Purple Mood to reset off of this. This is definitely a different New Happy than we've become used to seeing.
It's a New Happy with a bit of a slower play style. They, again, I mean, they're extremely cautious. They never aggress unless if absolutely forced to. Right now, well, they have 3 players sat in the building. They don't have to push. Therefore, they want. The thing is, they're as dangerous as anyone else up close.
Oh my goodness.
That's a double headshot. Imagine that the December 12 thinks, I'm safe. I got a level 3 helmet. I'm chilling. But nope, not going to happen. Dante finds him through the smoke, and maybe, just maybe, that's going to allow for Purple Mood to push on forward.
And now they'll at least allow them enough time to get res onto Fluky. So P90 back in play as Tanawat going to come and rejoin the boys. Duckman's peeking up over the top. He's going to make sure they leave those smokes down, keep that smoke wall going to protect them from question mark. As the throwables keep going out, Fluky going to go down again as Nan and the rest of the New Happy gang holding a strong defense against this push.
This fight is taking way too long, though. Nan does find it. The triple comes through. Great hold. Nice use of utility. But now here is question mark. They're over the hilltop. They had the element of surprise. Now that surprise has been sprung, though. We'll see if Nan from up close can maybe catch question mark off guard as he's prone right down below.
Nan needs protection from his men in the house, though. He is the tip of the spear for sure, but he is just wide out in the open. If any of question mark are able to just peek up over that ridgeline, Nan is sure as dead.
Yep.
So he needs to rely on his teammates to cover him. They spot him just like that. His teammates weren't looking. There you go. December 12th actually going to trade it back, though.
Now they have to hold the line, though. They have to try and allow for either Nan to push or crawl all the way back, or for somehow them being able to push on forward. 30 seconds to go until the circle's going to start closing in. But PMA from the other side again. They're not aggressing. They're playing from afar, but they're getting these points fed without having to risk anything to claim them. Smart playing here from PMA to not overstep their boundaries.
No, very good stuff. Very good awareness on the part of PMA. Meanwhile, that circle did pop, and it is going to go south. So this fight has a little bit more time to play out if we want, as we see LG and 17 kind of squaring up a little bit in the kill feed. Meanwhile, question mark, it looks like they're just going to pull away from that fight with New Happy. They realize they're dug in that house like a tick. It's going to take way too long to dig them out. Let's go ahead and make the next move into the zone.
I mean, they're an edge team. They got exactly what they wanted. They came over the hilltop. They got a kill on a team they now know who is. They've wounded them. They say, great, if they're coming to us, we have the numbers advantage. Now let's fall back. Let's go back on our edge. Let's chill things out and let the action unfold before us, and then make our decision on where we want to go.
Exactly. What you want to see from a team of New Happy's caliber. Legacy, meanwhile, have to send it. They were all the way up on the north, and they're going to be sending it right into Twisted Minds. But Tulins is ready and waiting, though. The AUG is just singing. One left up for LGC, and that will do it. Twisted Minds. It looks like actually a couple of those kills get stolen away there, yeah.
You know what, for Twisted Minds, they'll take the 2 kills and staying alive any day of the week here, I think. Interfalls 36 now feeling the need to go full speed sender. Where are you gonna go? Though all the compounds have been claimed. You were able to deal with Foot Esports in the previous one. This time around, they're not inviting you in. 4 AM1D either. I don't think Interfalls has any idea where they want to go. They're driving blind, but they have to find a stop somewhere.
Yeah, everything's kind of bad right now, so looks like they're going to continue. Star-Lord's actually going to stop down just to heal up, because he's just a hair's breadth away from going down. As E36, they go all the way across the zone and right into question. Well, but Pure Boy will immediately turn on the best of luck.
Solid shot coming through. Issue is they're up against an entire team inside the building. You saw one of them get out of the vehicle early. Not too much he can do in order to try and help. So question mark with the numbers advantage, finding the first one. Now taking down Chaos Will. Sylphia is up close trying to fend off, but Star-Lord is nowhere near.
Look at New Happy. They've started to creep out of their compound. They're going to see if they can maybe return the favor on the question mark with the third-party action here, as E36 is starting to get picked apart here a little bit, and that's going to be it for them, as Akkad actually going to do it with the final knock onto Star-Lord. So question mark, they do take a knock. New Happy is getting there and arriving maybe a little bit too late. We'll see if CC108 wants to push, how hard they want to push into this.
I like the idea of peek on over. You say push on over and peek on in. They're full speed sending it down towards the building. I think CC now caught out in the open, has to make a play, has to try and push on forward. But as you said, Shen Yixing Long now trying to make the play in from behind as well. CC, first one to fall. New Heavy down to 2.
Big shots for Dante, big trade from Ming, as one will go down on each side. Sixel now has joined the party as well. The new circle has popped, and none of this is going on inside the zone. Aduzi is very, very low. You see Phil first still holding up the top side, the high side here. Altoff's burning out. Ming will push. Will find the knock onto Aduzi. Switch it back again. Give it to the boy.
What a play coming through from Ming, the main man himself. absolutely insane. You talk to pretty much any single player in the world that play competitive PUBG and say, who's your top 3 best mechanical players in the world right now? Everyone, somewhere within that top 3, has Ming Ming listed. He is a phenomenal mechanical player, and you got to see a bit of a masterclass there.
He is a stone-cold fragger. And now Shenyi Xinlong are going to try to make short work of him. They will take care of him with the blue zone grenade. And that should do it for New Happy. But what a performance there from Ming Ming as they pick up a nice set of kills here. Now Sixel can turn their attention towards the new zone.
Here we go. Full speed forward goes Gen G. We saw Interforce try and do it just before. Did not work out for them, but Gen G now setting up the exact same play on through. They know they still have Shenyi down towards that southern side, and now they're aware that they have Foot close by as well. They need to spread out. They need to make space. They need smokes out, and they're doing all of that right now.
Not sure if they stole maybe Foot's spot away from it. It looked like Foot was heading out here on foot with AC and Beamy leading the way. T-Bone and Vard now leaving the compound, starting to come over there and join the rest of the squad. But this is wide open field combat, Toby.
Yep.
This is terrifying stuff.
There's a bit of a ridgeline, as you can see here. The people in the compound out towards the east can't see them, but if AC moves just about 50 meters further towards the east, he will be in plain view of the people in the upstairs.
It's a good
towards
balance.
that east. Nate comes on through. Esther forced to back off.
Esther tied his Nikes on tight this morning, but Songyang going to get spotted out by T-Bone on the side of that hay bale. And now Beamy's going to get spotted out by DG98. So trades coming through here from Gen G and Foot Esports. The one thing they've got going for them is no, well, I say that. Now Sixel is finally third-partying them from the high ground.
Looking back towards the Gen G of Korea, I should say, their PWS plays. One of their big faults, one of the big issues were that they never seemed really coordinated in fighting. So seeing them here, being able to trade for one another, to be able to kind of always peek back and forth with one another, knowing where they have each other. Good to see right out of the gates here for the Korean team.
You can see the circle will pop away, and what a shot from 8Z. We'll get him out of the driver's seat of that thing real quick. Songyang the last one up. Suze still taking shots from that high ground. I mean, Sixel is just farming onto all of this. Nobody can even return a shot. 8Z gonna go down. Vard gonna get finished off. T-Bone the last one up. Suze, oh, it's actually gonna be 4 a.m. that forces them away.
And this is playing perfectly into Sixel's playstyle, the Tianba of old, so to speak. I mean, MML and Lorena, kind of the spearheads, at least for now, of that operation with Boarding, of course, the IGL. They never take risks. They play it slow, they play it smart, they sit. There's got to be a third-party opportunity at some point. And, well, here it presents itself once again, just like we saw in the compound between New Happy and Question Mark earlier.
So much action going on in this game on the outskirts, and we have not even touched upon the fact that all of these compounds that still remain in circles have full 4-man squads left in them. You've got Pentagram, you've got 4 a.m., LG, Twisted Minds down to 3, have one of the chopsticks, 17 have the other, and then you've got Sixel and PMA on the hills on the south side. So a lot of players left in this game.
Yeah. Next play here is going to be positive mental attitude, having to figure out where do we send it. A send has to happen. Question is where it's going. If they know that Pentagram is the team inside the compound straight east right now, which maybe they should know considering how long it's been here, you send it right now. You just saw the knock come through. That's your 4v3. That's your one chance to try and make a play.
Yeah, the question is, how are they going to know that that's who's there, right? I mean, it's a... The compound that Pentagram is holding is probably their best bet. The other problem is that they've got Sixel over there as well. So if they bomb it first, then they have to worry about Sixel third-partying them from the side. So we'll see what they decide to do. It looks like they're just going to creep down a little bit closer, find a little bit of a ridgeline to work with. Unfortunately for them, they are right in line of Twisted Minds, and Spiro is going to find the first knock on IMP.
I was just going to say they can prone on the backside of that position, but that's not going to happen. Spiro was shooting out. I was like, wait, there's other people doing what I'm doing. The Whack-A-Mole start fighting one another. Not so often you see that happening. Usually there's a bit of a truce between the teams inside the chopsticks itself, but now, well, we'll see if anything's going to happen here. Spiro is still tasked with trying to make sure that 17, Shushu, and Xiaobei can't peek on over.
Yeah, 17, they're trying to see if they can get anything off of this Twisted Minds, but they have to be super careful about LG, who is just kind of overseeing all of this. Anytime Twisted or 17 just peek up, they have to worry about any of the Luminosity boys maybe taking a few shots across the bow. Suze Actually finds an angle there onto Lou somehow. I'm not even sure. Sixel still doing hella damage from the south side on that high hill.
See next circle who's going to get the blessing. LG
Oh
and Pentagram are sat very, very tight right now. Even though LG is sat right next to both Twisted Minds and 17, it's a very hard position to push up into from down below, especially when there's two teams in those gutters. So right now, Luminosity, well, they can rest easy because they know that there's going to be no push on them before this fight between Twisted Minds and 17 has concluded.
Yeah, but they are 100% on the clock right now.
Oh,
like
yeah, for sure.
They have to be aware of Twisted Minds 17. They got to be aware of 4 a.m. And then you've got PMA and Sixel on the south side. At some point, they're going to crash into something. You know, I would think that the Pentagram compound may be the best option, but you never really know.
We said that 4 a.m. will make a yeet eventually. This might just be the time. They've been sat in that compound for the past 5 circles. We'll see if now is the time. And all fairness, considering where they are, still 4 alive, have barely taken damage. Take those cars a bit further out, make a smoke trail, and play it out in the open. That might just be the play issue. Is how long is that going to keep you alive? And I think that's what Shen Yixinglong and PMA are starting to consider now as well. We got to make an aggressive play forward.
And here it comes as PMA is going to be the first one to go. But oh no, it's a tree. So that's going to allow everybody to just focus down the first car. They're going to find Pete. They're going to find Kit. Second car finally comes through. But everybody's now paying attention to that as well. Teddy, the last one up. He makes it in. But for how long? As Pentagram is just sitting here just farming. Yep, Teddy going to go down as well. PMA eliminated just like that. Sixel, they're going to try to do the same thing. But meanwhile, Twisted Minds at 17, that fight has finally come to a head.
Yeah, 17 trying to peek on over 4 a.m. Butchered on approach towards the compound now. I mean, Luminosity and Pentagram working together to keep out everyone else. They want the fight for top 2. And 17, I mean, trying to get something done with the utility, able to get the knock onto Patulans, can't quite commit to the flush, though. Nice setup here for Twisted Minds to prevent them from going any further forward. But the blue zone is now closing in. They will have to get out of this position.
How on earth did Pentagram manage to hold off the full push from 4 a.m., PMA, and Sixel all at the same time? So I don't know how they did it, but they did. Now 17 Gaming, they're in big trouble for Blue Zone grenades. They are going down, dropping like flies. Xiaowu, the last one up. All he can do is hide in a corner of safety and wait for the inevitable. Here's Twisted Minds being very thorough here. Gonna go down eventually to the grenade. Actually, it's gonna be Spiro that does it with the AUG. And now Pentagram, Sixel proving a little bit more difficult to clear out maybe than they had thought.
I mean, Twisted Minds is saying if we just throw enough blue zone nades over, they won't know what's blue zone and what blue zone nade and what's real blue zone, and they got completely bamboozled when there were that many blue zone nades in and around them. Circle, send us up once more as Luminosity. One of few teams still inside this one, but now, as I said before, the fight between Twisted and 17 had to conclude. Now they are the next on the chopping block, and now for Shen Yixinglong, just MML left alive. He has to fend off against the entirety of Pentagram. If they go back-to-back here, Pentagram, that would have been, that would be, I should say, an insane start. It's still very, very doable.
I mean, I'm still agog at the fact that they were able to hold off a push from 3 different sources all at the same time. And they still have all 4 players up, as well as they're going to have Adder leading the way with the DB. MML, nope, yep, that is how that works. 10 kills now for Pentagram. What a statement to come in here in day number 2.
I mean, yesterday was Chiamba, a team that also, I think, few teams expected to come up to a start like that. Now it is Pentagram here in this group. Luminosity, though, now having to fend off here. They lose Snakers early. We'll see if the flush comes through with a nade. Not quite so. And now Pentagram, I mean, if they want to, they can easily third-party this.
I mean, why would they even bother if they can maybe sneak a few kills or steal a couple of kills away, make their final fight a little bit easier? Right now, Luminosity doing their best. 8 kills for Twisted Minds so far. Lou will have to play around that. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and Batu's gonna go down as well inside. So LG turned things around very quickly. Spiro, the last one up, and as he said, Pentagram could be third-partying this, but they're just hanging out inside their compound.
You have to go for the flush here. They know that 2 players are down. Now it's just Spiro left alive. I'm not sure if Relo realized he had a headshot connect. Is he allowed to get the rest here? I don't think that LG, maybe they don't have more utility or they're just not willing to spend more utility because they know there's a fight still yet to be had. But look at this. Flood knows exactly where he has him. Spirit's going to peek on over. Tack once, tack twice. They now see the flush on the other side. Spirit peeks on, fights Rello. Somehow, Twisted Minds are still alive here.
And somehow, Pentagram has not left their compound to go take part in this, as Luminosity is just having a hard time. There you go. Finally, Stakers will get him, and they'll get the res on Arello. And this whole time, Pentagram has just been sitting there.
Pentagram, they got too used to having people push them, and they're like, no, we're not leaving this building. This is where things work for us. We got DPSs. We can't fight at a distance. They're waiting it out, and now, well, again, LG falls out into the open. A card. Helmet removed, but able to stay alive.
Fair enough. You know what, Pentagram? Play the game how you want to play it, my dudes. It's worked out pretty well for you so far. 10 kills in the bag. Mime almost goes down, will go down as he gets his toesies touched by that blue zone as the smokes are laid down thick for LG, trying to make their way across in. Eventually, the final dot's going to be outside of this compound, though.
I mean, again, keep in mind, Pentagram, they had, what, 5 teams die inside that compound. They got utility 4 days, and now they've spent the most of it. One more down.
There's
just one more left alive. Pentagram looking to go back-to-back here. The OGs, the players that were dropped from their previous rosters, join together, qualify for PGC, and come off to a dream start here at PGC. Snakers will find one, but the trade is there. Back-to-back for Asla Pentagram.
And that is how it's done. They were a little bit hesitant, I guess. Well, I would say hesitant to get involved in that last fight, but I guess they knew. They were saying, look, LG's got to leave that compound. They've got nothing but grass. So unless they've just got all the smokes in the world, we're going to eventually get them anyway.
Yeah, they sit with a card on the roof. They know exactly what has to be done. They have perfect oversight of the fight on the other side of the circle. And again, play it smart, claim it in the end. Again, they was a knock. They could have made a play. Maybe should have. They made their play. They came out victorious. I'm not going to fault them.
I know. Look, hey, at the end of the day, they got the win, and they got all the kills, too, to go along with it. So who are we to say that they did anything differently? But we are going to throw it over to the analyst desk to break down this second game of the day.
2 Erangel maps, 2 victories for Pentagram. This is obscene how good they are right now. It feels like a repeat of yesterday. Tiamba opened with 2. Now Penta comes out and opens with 2. And they look like they can't be stopped. They're smart. They're making the right plays. That choice not to third party and really play the dot worked incredibly well for them.
They knew that they had the center dot better. Their compound was better. The layout was better. And LG was going to be delayed with the fight, so they're not going to be able to have a perfect smoke. The wall up, sit up, and the timing is just completely different, right? So in general, it's just a perfect game for them in terms of how they executed things. Really well played here by Ming too. Managed to get in and take out the question mark guys, and 3 kills for him. I gotta say in general though, this chopstick endings, it's just it's so well known that it's like playing the same chess game over. So how do you do these small changes? Nice played by Twisted Minds. They managed to get a lot of points on the board. As you see here, as the Pentagram are back-to-back, man. I just can't believe it. Honestly, the guys have the pedigree, but I wouldn't expect it for this to be the start.
I expect it to turn on quite so quickly, all right? They're putting this roster together. I mean, Toby said at the end, they kind of came together to make this run at PGC, and sometimes it takes time to get that group back and synergizing correctly, but apparently not, as they played very well. Now, Luminosity also had a good game. Both those teams grabbed a good compound, held very effectively, but again, Luminosity, despite the fact that they had more smokes than I've seen in a very long time, they just weren't able to stop. And part of that was, again, Pentagram just used accuracy through volume. You saw them just laying down fire. There was no chance to get heals. There was no chance to push forward. There was no chance for Luminosity to get that win. Yeah,
and in general, you know, in this situation here, like once you're 4 guys strong, you have that better compound there. It's just another situation like a waiting game, or wait for the third party, wait for those 2 teams to kind of fight it out, and then use the rest of the utility and just hold them out. So super well executed by them in general. This compound that they had, like the way that it's laid out, is also just a better compound like to hold. You have that small shack in front. You have they were playing the roofs already. Like they have all the advantages in that case.
And that's true. They were able to set. That's really what they did while that Twisted Mind fight sort of played out. And it was extended. They couldn't finish that last flush. And that's when I think they took that advantage. And Pentagram said, yep, now we get on the roofs. Now we lock up the chat. Now we sort of pre-prep a lot of action, and there was just nothing that LG could do. So again, that's one of those things. Like, I think if you're a team that doesn't get the win in that situation, you don't get angry about it, because the game do be like that sometimes.
For sure. Like, it's very often the case, like, if you're in a situation where you have 3 teams left, if you're the last team to initiate, always, or almost always, you are the team that's
Unless you're talking about game 1.
Sure, yeah. You're the last team to initiate. Oh, but they were hurting, and that's
true.
But it's very often a case like this. Like, they were all kind of fighting here. That's the Pentagram just waiting. Top 4 teams though. That's Pentagram 13 kills here. That's another 23 points coming in their way. LG and Twisted Minds, of course, also with a lot of good damage and kills. Of course, with LG, they're able to put in a lot of that damage, playing on the kind of high ground here. But now here, it's up to a card. 6 kills and nearly 700 damage for him. Good to see that there's another player that's able to step up. Again, the pedigree on this team here is through the roof. It would be crazy to see them to be the best team out of Korea, considering what we've seen from them so far.
It would be, I mean, as of now, officially, since the start of PGC, so far they're standing in that role. And Akat is going to lead that. His knockouts 3, 6 kills, 692 damage. Beautiful. And what I liked about the way they defended is reminding me sort of what we saw from Foot in the first game at the top of the mountain, where they were rotating, they were taking damage and shifting somebody else into the front line, making sure whoever was peeking had a solid helmet. They were playing good fundamental PUBG, and it results in 23 points on the match leaderboard.
It's 47 points after 2 games.
It's insane.
It's disgusting. Good for LG, of course, to come in. Twisted Minds after a little bit of a different start for them. But yeah, some teams on the right side right now that we obviously want to see do a little bit better. Unfortunate for Howl and Genius, 0 points. But here, the overall so far, you need to get top 8. There's no difference. You need to get to the winners. That is top 8 and 47 points. Again, we're talking about the 75 to 85 points cutoff, so that is crazy. Again, another one-team sponge so far after just 2 games. And,
you know, we started the day by saying, well, we'll probably not have another day with a one-team sponge that sort of throws off the qualification points, because when we say that target is that 70-ish, that doesn't account for a team like, say, Tiamba yesterday, or apparently Pentagram now, that comes out and just mops points up, puts them in their bucket, and walks out of the building with nothing left for anyone else. Upside, teams like Genius or Purple Mood, you know, a hometown team that the fans are here to see, they're not out of it, because Pentagram getting those first 2 chicken dinners means that it's wide open for teams to make that jump. So pretty excited to see exactly what's going to happen as the games continue to go forward. We're switching off of Erangel. We're going to head to Vikendi next when we come back after this short break. So please stick around, because this is PGC 2023. Don't go anywhere.
Unleash my shopping spree
Duty-free from big brands.
at all King Power stores and King Power online.
It's possible. Enjoy great selections, promotions, and privileges.
The power of possibilities. King Power.
Hanuman's forces have set up their barrier. They are waiting for sunrise before they release their guard.
Very good. With my magic, the night will turn. Enemies beware. Mayara is coming for you.
ยืนหนึ่งมันไม่ง่าย แต่ไม่ยากที่จะทำแค่ตั้งใจและสนุกกับมัน
เท่าแก่น้อยตอบโจทย์ทุกไลฟ์สไตล์แบรนด์สาหร่ายยอดขายอันดับ 1
ถ้าสาหร่ายต้องเท่าแก่น้อย
자,
Okay, thank you.
아침에 일어나서 가장 먼저 무엇을 하나요? 에스프레소와 책 한 권을 읽습니다.
Fácil. Buenísimo, amigo, no re fácil, amigo.
More weather, more weather.
Bueno, tengo. 我们生意新闻实验室刚组建不久的新队伍，这次能进 PGC 已经大大超乎我们的预期了，我们一定会加油的。
Hello, everybody. We are back once again, and Toby, 2 games down, and we thought that we were never going to see something like Tiama did yesterday with 80 points in one day. 2 games in, 47 points for Pentagram.
Yeah, it's been absolutely
what is happening?
insane. I mean, absolutely insane. It's a it's a case of group stage, first couple of games of the tournament, everything can happen. Now, I say that, and that maybe sounds like, oh, any team could have come out and won. That's not the case, because Pentagram played 2 phenomenal matches here. First one, arguably had to fight more for it than the second one around, but even then, being able to close out games in the caliber that they did here against 2 of the most heavy-hitting, up-close fighting opponents in Foot and Luminosity here in the end of these 2 first matches. Very, very impressively done by this team who individually has never been, again, the fraggers of their teams.
It's just been I guess a gumbo of all things going right for these first 2 games, but now that being said, we've moved on from Erangel. We are moving over to Vikendi. What do you think we're going to see now that we're... I had this argument in my head, right? And I want to see if you agree with it.
Okay.
I think a lot of teams get used to playing on these teams. They get the snowball rolling, they get momentum going in their favor, and then you have the map switch. Well, we're doing not 1, not 2, but 3 map switches all in one day.
And you talked about snowballs rolling. I'm gonna go off of that and say that while I don't necessarily expect Pentagram to continue their winning streak, although it's by no means impossible, it's Vikendi in regions have played very different. Most regions have been very slow on them because there are just these open fields that you cannot use for anything, so you'll rather just stick to the forest, stick to the compounds for as long as possible. Having said that, once teams do get forced out into those open positions because circles do what circles do, they get incredibly spicy. And well, if yesterday's Vikendi is anything to go off of, I'm not even sure if land ratio does anything in Phase 4 anymore. So who knows? Who knows? It's been wild. It's been wild yesterday, and I hope that we get equally wild games here today.
Oh man, I just love this map. I'm really coming around on this map a lot. I know we've talked about it almost ad nauseum at this point, but you know, regardless of storms, regardless of bears, it's still a fun map.
One of the things that I think is the most interesting thing about Vikendi, as we do get the game set up and ready here, it was just testing, you know, just getting everyone up and ready for this one. What I do love is that having talked to players from multiple regions now about Vikendi specifically, many teams said, you know what, initially I wasn't a fan. Didn't like the map, it didn't play the way that I wanted it to. But they're all saying, now we're forced. It's part of the map pool, we are forced to focus on it. We are forced to pay attention to Vikendi, and they're all saying, you know what? The more I'm forced to work with it, the more it's actually growing on me.
It's like eating your vegetables. You know, it's like you know it's good for you if you pay attention. You have to actually get involved with it. But like you said, I think you're starting to see a lot more strategies starting to get formed. You're starting to see a lot of teams just actually kind of get their feet under them and really kind of figure out a methodology for how they like to play this thing. So now we are actually going into the game as we see Gen G and the boys sitting there. We are ready to head into the snowy fields of Vikendi once again. Head on a swivel, Toby.
Head on a swivel. Eyes on pentagram, I suppose. 100% Group B win rate right now. And as you said, polar bears, blizzards, Vikendi has it all. Cable cars, trains, you name it. Dinosaur land. I mean, it's Dino land, I should say. It's been chaotic. Now we know that Foot and New Happy has been joining forces, so to speak, down and around Decamesto. But again, neither two teams really eager to fight early on. I would be very surprised to see either of those two hot drop here in the beginning of this Vikendi.
Well, here's hoping. I gotta tell you, this plane isn't giving me a lot of confidence when I say this, but here's hoping that we don't see the absolute wheels off circle that we saw yesterday.
Well, now
I've never seen so much coastline in play. And that was just exciting to watch.
I'll say I have, but that was in 2018, so I don't know if it counts.
Fair. That's fair. I can't argue that.
Yep,
so.
Exactly. The plane has left the map. All the players are landing down on the snowy Vikendi, and so far not seeing too much commotion. Maybe Xiao Yixin Long and Genius are going to vie for a little bit of vehicle fighting. Outside of that, it seems pretty clean overall. But again, this is the group of patience. This is the group of cerebralness, which is now a word. I've just made it one.
There you
go.
We'll
see. We'll see if... Oh, Ruin, please do it.
Come on, hit it.
You got this, Ruin.
Hit it.
And?
Whoop. Oh, it's okay.
Boliang, though,
Boliang
went for a vehicle and got penalized for it. Again, we saw them on the map. We saw them getting close to one another. It's the first time these teams ever really, and I mean, if we don't count scrims, I suppose, get a proper Vikendi against each other and stuff like this is bound to happen.
And we also got to see our circle pop, and it's very good. It's nice. It's clean. It's all on land.
Yeah, it
which
sure
is the best you can say about it.
Not too much water circles coming out of this one. And as we were on Genius there for a second just before, I feel like they're due a highlight. I mean, it's an orc that picks up Utah and says, go make a team. I need you to make a team. He looks at, well, who's done anything? Zest and Simon T, or Sir T, they're like, they were teammates from BN United. They made it to PGC 2021.
Sure
Tournament itself, not something to write home about, sure.
Fair.
But they still made it there.
They
got to a global tournament. They have the global experience, and now they're bringing Glorious, who's been on every single, that's not even true, 2 of 3 Nations Cup teams out of his region in Vietnam. So 2022 had Glorious on, and he played well there too. It wasn't just all a Cerberus show. No, he pulled his numbers. So curious to see how they're going to fare. It's not exactly been a great showing for them here in the first 2 rankles, but many teams that we expect things from haven't had a great showing in the first 2 matches, so don't let that write them off.
Not just yet. Not just yet. 2 points total.
Slow starters.
For Genius. It is what it is. It is what it is. As we check in with Sixel, making their way around around the center of the circle, getting a little bit close to New Happy as CC just kind of off in the distance as check in on the castle. But, you know, obviously losing Boliang not ideal here for Sixel, but that's a team that can play with 3.
Oh, definitely. I mean, one of the best games the Twisted Minds has when Batulis died early. So we'll see if, maybe that carries over to Shenyi Shinlong. And then again, I mean, Boliang in particular, looking back towards the days of infantry gaming, some of the best games they had was after Boliang died. He just got to sit up and look over the troops for himself. But now let's listen in to Foot Esports and see what they thought coming into the tournament.
The other side of things, Foot Esports set up a bridge camp against Exo, trying to get away from this one, should be able to do just that. But with the low damage being done, as T-Bone's forced down to reload.
Oh, suppressed Orc as well. It's beautiful. Oh, yeah. There's not going to be any stopping for them here. Dante getting sprayed down. He goes down. So does a doozy as well.
It feels very Inception-esque to have to throw to yourself.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
I've never thrown to myself before. It felt weird.
That has got to be doing wonders for your ego right now. I can only imagine.
Had I only knew him prior, this would have made it even better. Yeah. Unlucky.
And now take it away, Toby.
Unlucky.
Well, Foot, definitely we saw a lot of good things from them in game number 1. Could have gone better. Should have gone better, arguably. You know, but right now, sitting in 5th overall, and I think they're happy with how things are going through the first 2. We'll see what they can pull out here in Vikendi. Checking in with Howl. Saw them get a little bit involved early on in in our Erangel game, so a little bit lower on the leaderboard maybe than they would have liked, but yeah, should be able to turn things around.
I mean, they lose 2 very, very early on in their first 2 Erangels. Now, one thing that I did catch on their first 2 Erangels that I haven't seen them do that much in EMEA is they attempted at least to set up traps in both those games.
Yeah,
first it was against PMA.
Right?
The very next game it's against Luminosity. Now Luminosity dodged, managed to kind of circle around that trap, but it was an attempt. This is not something we've seen them do in EMEA at all. They normally just bomb at center, try to claim something in there, lay low and wait for opponents to come to them. But here it's clear to see they're not necessarily eager for those early game positions. They'd rather wait things out for a little bit and then try and see if they can catch unaware players off guards.
And I love that too, right? I mean,
it's super smart.
You're an org that's coming into this global championship. Obviously, you've gotten used to how things play out in the EMEA, but you realize that if we're going to take it to that next step for international play, we've got to do something different, something that we've never really done before. So you can tell that they've been practicing it, thinking about it, workshopping it, and now they're putting it on display. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not, but it's something that's trying to. They're doing what they realize they feel like they need to do to step up their game internationally.
And they've had the year to warm up, right? I mean, we look back towards PGS1. They qualified through to PGS1 in flying colors. Best team in EMEA of the tournament prior. At PGS1, again, not exactly something to write home about, but they learned. They figured, oh my lord, there's a whole other level of PUBG to be played at globals that we've never been up against before, but now we know. Now we take all that we learned back home and we prepare for tournaments to come. And here they are once again. Again, not the greatest start for them so far, but we are only 2 games in. Still plenty more PUBG to be played.
Plenty. Thunders and the Purple Mood gang around the southwestern side of this circle may get a little bit close to E36. We'll see how long they continue their wraparound. Haven't really seen too much out of Purple Mood just yet, but they're right in the thick of things as far as that log jam around 8th to 16 goes, so can't really complain too terribly much.
Not at all. 17 as well. Again, we mentioned them earlier in the day. Not only are they a team that I think many have on their kind of top 3 list of teams to go out and win this whole thing, but also a team that do not like taking unnecessary risks. They pretty much never split further than a 2-2. And this time is no different. They're sat center, they got control, but they're sat very, very close to their teammates. And from compounds where they can look towards one another. Should something happen, their teammates can instantly come over and support the teammates that are currently being suppressed.
Well, shout out to everybody who picked anybody from Osla Pentagram on your fantasy squads so far this year, because you guys are probably you're just absolutely farming points off of the rest of us right now, because that has been where all of the fantasy money has been headed so far, at least funneled through the first 2 games.
That is
we'll
true.
see how the rest of the day goes, but you have got to be feeling pretty darn proud of yourself. Be smug. Be smug, at least for now.
Indeed, you have Legacy. Yet another team we mentioned just earlier. A few roster changes coming through. Their coach now stepping in as an active player in RBN. And curious to see what play style. I mean, again, 2 games in, everyone's just going to get a feel of it, figure out what is the pacing of this lobby going to be. But then you also have the team to say, we're not going to wait and find out what the pacing is. We're the ones to set the pace. We will be the danger that everyone else has to try and deal with. And I had hoped maybe that Legacy would do more to try and become that, because they are heavy hitters. They are really scary up close. So maybe again, just playing it a bit of show, playing a bit cautious here to begin with, and then going aggressive later on. We know they're dangerous when they play pedal to the metal PUBG, and we'll see that come back from them.
They have been very focused on keeping 4 up into the late game almost to a fault, where you'll see them avoiding fights that you're like, it kind of feels like you had an advantage there and that you maybe could have pushed it, but instead they're just like, you know what, no, let's just pull back. We like our chances of getting into the late game a little bit better. So again, like you said, tremendous fragging power and team fighting ability on that squad. And we just haven't gotten to see it yet.
That's why I'm bringing it up, because they were doing the exact same thing, or the 3 of them were doing the exact same thing at Nations Cup last year. But it was when they thought, oh well, you know what, it's done. We're just gonna let's just go amok, like let's just go crazy, see what's gonna happen. That's when they started playing well. When they stopped playing scared and started going aggro, they really started farming teams. And I just want to have try and have them have that mentality from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Nations Cup prior too, wasn't it? When they ended up in 3rd and had a shot at 1st. I mean, that was how they came into the games, wasn't it? They just taking a fight with just about everybody. So
exactly,
we'll see how it plays. I think there's a happy medium to be found there, and they're still trying to figure it out. As Adder is going to get picked out by Lil Ghost, and the 17 contingent in the crowd is particularly happy about that one.
Seems like Pentagram weren't immortal after all. One player will fall. Maybe more to come, we'll see, as now the rotations are happening more on the side. This pacing that we're seeing now of this lobby is more on the lines of what I would have expected. Again, there's so many teams that like to just sneak around the edges of the circles, make their way on in only when forced to, only when the circles shift away. 4am, again, similar play style, but they will go much further center when they then do make a move. And I think that's what we're seeing them try to look for now. Look for that opportunity to sneak between these edge teams, find a way in towards that circle center. Believe you me, once that phase 3 pops, they will instantly be in cast, ready to go.
Tell you what, this circle shift is going to prove how much research and how much work these teams have done on rotation paths.
Yes.
On this map, because immediately everybody kind of centered up in circle 1, but this thing hard cut down to the southeast, and you're not seeing any really long wraps out into the blue or outside of circle. You're seeing a lot of teams just cut right through the middle and try to get down to that southeastern part where there's open territory to be found.
I mean, in all fairness, if you look at the map right now and kind of just slice it right down the middle, it's just Enterforce 36 in purple mood. The remaining 13 up to, or 14, I should say, up towards the north. So things, because maybe alluding to what you were saying with Legacy playing slow for too long, they might all just get smothered up there. It might just become too clustered for anyone to get out of it alive. And now we're starting to see some of the issues caused by just this. It's 4am and Howl start looking in the way of each other.
You see the trade from HSM and the Mad. And meanwhile, Legacy actually kind of scoping things out and seeing if they can maybe get involved in that. As we check in with Akkad, the rest of the Pentagram boys, they do lose Adder, but they are still 3 strong and are still very much in the driver's seat of this lobby. They can look at question mark. They are on the very northern tip here, a little bit close to Pentagram. Not close enough to spot each other out just yet, but just scouting things out. You're seeing very, very meticulous work being done by these teams that are coming in late. They don't want to try to blind send into anything.
It's insane to me that we're seeing a lobby right now where Gen G and Foot Esports are the 2 teams in the center, arguably 2 of the most edge-heavy teams of their regions. That just goes to show how slow this lobby is in terms of early game aggression. No one wants to set up a fight with the risk of getting third-partied. Everyone wants to be the smartest team on the server, but there is no space for everyone to do that. That's why I was saying I'm hoping to see Howl, hoping to see 4am take advantage of all these teams playing it slow, because there is plenty of space to fight over in the center of the circle, but everyone eager to sit out on the edge.
Well, just looking at this map, there are a number of matches very close to being lit here, as Perfectix will get res by Batu, but you see PMA starting to creep down there. They got the initial knock, weren't able to find a gay. New circle goes off to the north a little bit. Sixel 3 strong in the castle, in dead center of the circle right now.
A castle ending.
Castle
ending. That's got to be like the Vikendi equivalent to a Mount Everest ending. Else epic. Else epic, no doubt. First we fight King of the Hill, and then we take the fight to the King's Castle. That is absolutely perfect. Should that be the case?
You
of course,
want to be
right
the
now.
king, you got to know where to go to find a crown, right?
Exactly. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not as we look over towards 4M again. This, I said it before, might just be the time they send it in. Now they have enough info to go off of to have an idea of just about where this game is going to end up. So they're going to wrap around. They're going to try and find just a small gap to try and send it on. And once they've gone around 17 gaming, they could potentially bomb it straight south. We'll see if that's going to be the case. In the meantime, Interforce 36 and Luminosity seem to have run into one another.
Oh, Mime and the rest of the Snakers, the rest of the LG boys not worried at all about stopping down here in the open field. They'll get take the shots over towards E36, get one kill out at least for free. Is Beamy actually going to be the one to force him to duck his head back down? K will survive a little bit longer, and it looks like they're going to try to pull in to the castle bridge, as that'll be the one area of defense here. But you can see Foot just off in the distance. It's not too terribly safe.
The crocodiles in the moat is what they're going to play as we wait to see where the journey will take him. 4M again, I mean, backfilling one team straight into another. 4M are used to having way more teams bomb center early, and while, well, I should say because of that, they never run into opponents when doing these wide wraps. But here's question mark, an edge team, and here's over towards another Twisted Minds, taking the fight to Legacy, and VH Sid is going to fall down instantly. RPN immediately there to follow.
So many teams were on the rotation path on this northern side, but immediately stopped down, got out of their cars, much like we saw LG do against E36, and just turned on each other. Unfortunately for them, everybody just kept on kind of doing this. Everybody stopped down and took the fight here. So Batu, Twisted Minds, they'll pick up 2 kills. Looks like Legacy down to 3, but they're going to avoid that fight. 17 just looking off into the distance, see if they can find anybody peeking their heads. You get Hal as well in the blue right now, just behind. And then you have the same thing occurring on the other side of the circle, where you have Pentagram holding out 4 AM.
And this is exactly what we were alluding to earlier. All these teams are strategizing off of being able to bounce around and wrap on these big wide rotations, but because everyone is set up to do so, they all become speed bumps from one another, therefore effectively denying the opportunity to play the style of PUBG you want to. And the sooner teams realize that this is going on and start playing more center aggressive, I think the sooner those same teams will be rewarded. Howl now, oh my lord, I'm seeing mortars written all over this position.
This is not looking great, and it doesn't look great for 4 AM either. They may have found a spot to play in, and there you go. We do get our castle finish.
Whoa.
And what?
Denied.
Okay.
Absolutely denied on rotation. Gen G had set up. They were waiting. Again, I mean, Gen G, a team that likes to play edge. They were forced center earlier due to circles. Now they've stuck around. They've waited and out. Now they're in their comfort zone. They just took out one team looking to fight more. Thunders, in the meantime, finds Crazy as the crowd goes wild.
Big time spray there from Thunders. And 4 AM will be finished off. As I was a little bit worried about them. They were trying to find a way in. They may have rotated themselves to death that time here. As Duckman's down, Thunder's down. It's up to Tanawat and Fluky to try to reset things here for Purple Mood, but it does not look like Luminosity wants to let, well, no, I say that. Luminosity actually kind of pulling off here.
They found one knock. They saw there was another in the kill feed. They have to try and make a play here. Nice timing from MML to peek on down. No, Matt running over Lars on approach 2. This is not how Howl wanted to pull up on this. Not what they wanted at all. Ruin, and the Matt, though, are still alive. Ruin deploying some smokes, trying to grant some cover for this rest to come through.
Oh, big danger here is Duckman's will be finished off by Hikari.
Hello.
It's like, oh, hey, look at that, piece of candy. And yeah, unfortunately for him, though, he's just not in a great place. As he is inside the zone, so he's got that going for him, but that's about it, as the rest of Purple Mood will try to send it back in. Now, Fluky all by himself. Looks like Tanawat and Thunders were in vehicles trying to make their way over here, but the rest of Pentagram very split up, spread out here. It's going to be a series of 1v1s, essentially, and PLM is winning them.
Purple Mood, they're feeling it. They're pushing on forward, taking the fight to Pentagram. Pentagram, of course, down one early from the start of the game, but now getting even more with it. Now, Luminosity are here to steal points away from them, but still, 4 kills. It's tough for them to fight on this side of the circle, but they've managed to get a couple of them. But now they have to get the safety. Thanawat, he needs to get carried down to cover. And I think just here should be all right.
I think he's safe. I think he's safe. Fluky going to do his best to keep LG a little bit distracted and maybe make sure that his teammates can get the revive off and find their way inside the zone, because he looks like he is, well, he just looks screwed.
Yeah, I'm not getting out of there alive. The vehicle that they had to use just before is gone as well. And now the blue is on him. Not sure if he had a jammer back or not, but Luminosity, of course, not going to sit around and wait this one out. They want to get into a better position. They want to wrap around and try and see if they can find him. Thunder's now taken out as well. It's just Fluky left alive on the side of Purple Mood.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the circle, we've got 17 and Genius. Serti getting a little bit close to the 17 death ball, as he will go down now. Genius down to 2, and Question Mark actually spotting out 17 from range here. So some long range shots being traded back and forth. And again, all of this happening on the outskirts of where the castle is, and it's going to zone up on the castle yet again. Toby, what an incredible finish.
Begun. This is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're getting fed interesting circles here to kick things off. Let's see now how wild this one is go down as we come into this pseudo small city ending of a kind.
It's time for some literal tower defense. And I'm here for it. As I know Matstrom's got to be going absolutely bonkers right now that he can't talk about some nerdy castle stuff while this is all going on. But you know what? You get us instead. As Leza and the Howboys, they are already inside. But look at he's dancing around the cannon. Can you imagine if the cannon actually worked?
I've been asking for it for a long time. I mean, we don't need blue zones, we don't need mortars. Just activate the cannons. Let there be like the whole oil, like the big oil barrels. Just let them spill out into the entrance. No, maybe we're taking too far. Let's not give them any more good ideas. Let's keep it on the down low. In the meantime, Sixel is trying to fend off strong. Relo making good use of the recently added Dragon. What the hell was that? Double headshot onto Flood, instantly catches Relo mid-air.
Somebody check him.
Whoa.
We need a heat check on Vard real quick, because that was absolutely filthy. Snakers, he doesn't want a piece of this at all. He's just going to go ahead and pull away and try to survive a little bit longer for the LG boys, as it looks like he should be able to do so. Nobody really checking that right now, but Foot, good God, Vard.
I mean, Relo peeks on O saying, hey, you've seen my Dragunov? Vard peeks back, you've seen my mini? I mean, that's just holy. But again, I mean, that's the level of play we've come to expect from these players. Maybe not double headshotting people mid-air, fair enough, but still close there too. We are at the global stages. We are at the pinnacle of what is PUBG esports. And you have to be able to pull off stuff like this. And Vard, well, perfect example right there.
God, it was sexy too, but Snakers will survive. He's gonna dig himself in his little hidey hole, as safe as he could possibly be, as MML just holding angles inside the castle, waiting for the knights to come breaching through the door.
Is Howl set 3 in a staircase? Is that what we're watching? This is the most, like, tell me you're watching Howl play PUBG without telling me you're watching Howl play PUBG. That is, you know what, they're safe, they're inside the circle, they're grinding placement points, or at least soon will be. So I don't fault them for trying to put up a strategy that, who knows, may or may not come out and grant them some points this game.
Well, so we're looking at it now, Toby. You got Genji, who's currently down 1 Songyang. You got Genji, you got Foot, you got Question Mark, and you got 17. All 4 strong, all outside of the castle walls right now. Now we have a new circle. The castle's still in, obviously, but big percentage of that zone is outside of the castle. Are we thinking that maybe our 4-man squads outside of the castle are in the driver's seat here?
Thing is, it's too late to crash. It's too late to crash those walls.
Yeah.
It's, the teams in there already sat way too comfortably. Exactly. They're already sat way too comfortably. You've got to try and play it out in the open. I think for Foot, Stay underneath that ridge for as long as you can. Issue is now they're closing in on the bridge itself, and now Gen G is getting lines of sight on them. So try and see if you can take this fight to Gen G. Hope that maybe New Happy from up high will assist you in one way or another. We saw Nate slopped on in just before, and same thing up towards the north. 17 has to be very careful with question mark over towards the eastern side.
Looks like Foot did take a knock, but they were able to get the res back onto it. 17. Ooh, shot. Hey. Find a little bit of an angle there onto Aduzi. Aduzi immediately back down. And looks like Foot trying to position themselves, realizing that they've got Gen G in that. Oh, Gen G going to spot 8C again, though. Pio doing some work there for the Gen G boys. And immediately T-Bone back again, trying to see if he can maybe go for the res. But Pure Boy and the rest of E36 also have an angle on this. So you've got Foot and Gen G, and then you've got QM and 17 on the north side.
Yep, everyone trying to say, can we just please look the other way for like 10 seconds? Yeah. Well, how about if we just all get to the castle? Let's just unite for once and breach this castle together. But neither of these teams, of course, are wanting any of that. Xiaowu gets knocked down. Not sure if there's going to be a rest possible with the circle already closing in.
Question mark got a really nice position here. Beautiful ridgeline. Unfortunately for them, it's outside of the zone. And unfortunately for them, Rurin had an angle on it as well and just deleted Dante.
Here they come, full speed forward. They've done enough damage that they're comfortable in making the play on through. Aduzi finds one with an 8. Let's see if more damage is to be done as Xiaobei now falls as well. Aduzi will be traded in the end, but it's just Lil Ghost left alive. Filfirst has coming up on the ridgeline, spotted instantly though.
Oh, Ghost hiding around the smokes. See if we can maybe do something here. Again, this is getting third party to fourth party by these castle teams. Ghost will spot. Phil fires!
That's a way to do it.
Falling damage.
Well, I mean, you know what? Vehicle to the face damage. That's we'll call it falling damage. That's fair.
Yeah, getting yeeted by a car is probably going to be the thing that does it. All right, well, Foot Esports, we've seen them take so many knocks here, Toby, but they're still 4 up and they have the bridge.
Now, when I talk about bridge camping in PUBG, usually I think of Erangel bridges, I think of Miramar bridges, but I guess now we have to consider Vikendi bridges in that conversation
That's
too.
Fair.
Foot, well, they're not the ones camping it right now, but they're the ones looking to make their way on over. They still got some utilities work with Beamy. Has been popping hits, but also lost a helmet of his own. So he's going to be a little more cautious. He does know exactly where he has Pio. It's all about who gets that angle.
Well, you see that circle. That's Pio's got some,
waiting for.
He's got some big work to do here, but he does have the Grozy, does have the SLR, and he's Pio. So we'll see if he can pull off some magic here. Beamy is an alm.
Sure does.
Oh, don't give it to Beamy.
The bolt man. You know what he did? He's the one that deserves it. He commits to bolts all day.
It's almost not fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it is. He's Danish. Give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him.
Danish.
Question mark now trying to wrap around on the other side. Vard again. I mean, Pio had a level 3 helmet and full health, but Vard double headshot. Pio down.
Vard is just...
He's on one. He's on one.
He's feeling it right now. He's feeling that mini. Everything. He can do no wrong here as the Twisted Mind boys have the smoke launchers in hand, trying to figure out how they're going to breach this thing. New Happy not making it easy. There you go. Gen G will get finished off by Foot.
They have to fight their way through this. They can't wrap north around. They know there's too much pressure up there. They have to try and fight their way through Castle to get out on the other side. This might even for Twisted Minds be a task too difficult for them to complete. Trying to isolate some angles with the smokes. With the smoke grenade launcher there. Spotting Nana up in the Princess Tower. We'll see if he can somehow get him. At least he forces him down. And now Nan has to make a run for it.
Well, Nan has to make a run for it, but so do Twisted Minds as the circle has arrived. And they are just pushing through. Nan will make his way through the blue zone grenade. December 12th trying to give him a little bit of support, but look at this death ball that Twisted Minds has working here.
If Ming Ming times this right, if he times it right now, peeks out, spots 3 people instantly, can't re-peek it. They saw him as well, but now perfect angle, spots 1.
Oh, that's
a lot of damage done towards Spiro as well.
That's 2 down, that's 3 down. Ming is right on time. Lou, the last one alive, and he's going to go down as well. New Happy just decimates Twisted Minds.
The timing, the crossfire setup, they knew where they wanted to take this fight, and they set it up to perfection. Now, Nan does fall to Blade Molly from Spiro, but what a hell of an ambush there on the side of New Happy.
Absolutely unreal stuff there from New Happy as they are still alive inside the castle. Six will have 2 left. They are the only ones remaining. Foot Esports will take out Interforce 36, but they took a lot of damage in the process. New Happy will find 1. That's going to be MML going down. And New Happy 6 kills and control of the castle.
Incredibly well played by them. Not only do they get to stay alive, but they had to brawl their way through it on equal terms with everyone else and able to do so without taking any casualties.
I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know if Fuka gets this res. 8C has been knocked a couple of times, and he was on the low side. All right, it looks like they will get to him just in time, but he was bleeding out very quickly. New Happy trying to see if they can maybe spread out on this south side, but Foot has had that on absolute lockdown.
The fact that Foot, again, I mean, we talked about it in previous games how New Happy were able to stay alive at Everest. The fact that Foot are still 4 up on that bridge, they have been the focus of half the server at one point, and still able to fight, able to live to see another day, all 4 of them together. Question mark now, though, the team on the chopping block. Where do you go from here?
Well, this is a big danger. They've been trading shots back and forth with Genius, and now Utah's going to be able to peek out the side. Will get spotted by Phil First, so that's going to keep them alive a little bit longer. Good shots from Phil First to defend his team as the throwables coming in. The blue zone grenades not landing where they need to in order to do the most amount of damage, but it'll at least force Genius to reposition.
Exactly, it does what it has to. It forces them off. It allows for some space to be made by question mark. Now smokes are deployed too, and Genius, well, they already have a New Happy they have to focus on. Maybe it's too much of a risk for them to peek down into the kind of the edge of the river there.
Oh man, I could not tell you. I mean, you see those percentages up at the top of your screen. I don't know. I feel like they should all be. Yeah, it's like that's about as close to 25% across the board as you're going to see, because this truly could be anybody's game here. Utah and Zest, let's see if they can make their way across this street. They're trying to avoid question mark, but they've also got to avoid Foot. They are definitely the ones in the most danger here. I say that. But Genius, question mark, actually going to get spotted just like that. Ming Ming finds an angle. I don't even know from where to find Dante, and QM is out.
Absolutely insane. I love the molly that QM throws up to try and deny Genius the escape from the building. But here comes the spray on through. And just like that, the players on the bridge, the team that wasn't invited to the castle party, comes out victorious.
And they are feeling it. You can see them screaming out loud right there. That was a huge, huge win for Foot Esports. And man, Toby, they earned that thing all the way through.
They keep 4 alive through all of that. 4 circles of terror as everyone wanted to deny them the cross on over. And in the end, they never had to leave the bridge.
How on earth they made it through that entire damn thing with all 4 up is just beyond me.
Insane.
And then 8C hitting the most disgusting headshots. Just absolutely filthy. But I don't know. That was an amazing game. Let's throw it over to the analyst desk to hear what they have to say about it.
They had to be disappointed after game number 1, but they're disappointed no longer as they foot to the top of that mountain and they take themselves a wonderful win. They played out of their mind, but no one played better than Vard. I don't know if he's bought bullets that have head magnets attached to them, but every time he shot that mini, it took someone down.
Vardas is one of the most correct, mechanically skilled players there is in this game here. There's no doubt about it. And I'm so blessed. We're blessed to see him do like that. The headshots there with the, that's just wild. Like
it was. Let's take a look back. Let's take a look back at the match. Highlights. Everybody's highlights. We're gonna get a lot of Vard highlights.
Castle.
Here's the first. It was just a double tap. It was wild.
The last one was just a single tap. The first one was, yeah.
And then he does it again right afterwards shortly. I think he takes PO out almost the exact same way. Foot, they had some knocks. They had to fight. It wasn't a walk in the park. They didn't get to sit in the castle and hold the defense. This also great play here. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Maybe New Happy holding out Twisted Mind's push. Everything from the Rapunzel Tower to the castle to the blue zone for escape. They just zoned Twisted Minds into a death spiral. And here's the end of that match is Foot eliminates the threat and can just lock down the castle exit, and New Happy really just never stood a chance.
I gotta say, NH Esports though, they did win the castle TD in the end, but here, Foot, once they had to get out of the castle, it's just impossible, right? It's like getting out of city.
It is, and that shift away, remember, that's frozen water, not water,
right.
Which means that it's not going to, there was a chance it goes there. I think we saw some of our teams, QM was said, you know what, everyone else is going into cover. Let's try to play this outside a little bit longer.
I honestly like the play from Christian Mark, to be honest. The way that they kind of approached it, we're like, okay, we actually have quite a lot of space here. We can put pressure. We can try to get some of these teams here. But then again, they tried to kind of sweep, but they got naded by Ming. They got under so much pressure. Also, the 2 Puso nades they had, they bounced it on the house, so it like kind of went back towards them. That could maybe have given them more time that they needed. But yeah, in general, Foot here, fantastic game for them. What a great weekend, and I love to see it. Once the end, they're just laughing there. Oh, okay, this was a wild game. That was a good one. It's like you can see it in the eyes. They're like, this is a well fought and hard fought for a win.
It was hard fought, especially after the first game where they also had a really good hard fought battle. They didn't quite come out the win, but they're gonna be happy with that. My name's Tavis. I got Avenger here on the desk. We break down the after action. You saw the highlights. We'll go over all the leaderboards and everything else in a second. But Vikendi seems to have been convinced to write stories for these teams. 2 Vikendi games played at this event so far. Both have had unique circles, to say the least.
Right. Foot here, of course, in the top 4 teams. 22 points coming their way, 2,300 damage.
Nice.
But of course, NH Esports, Question Mark and Sixel is going to be in there too. Sixel in a kind of home turf territory in a case where they're able to get some time, but only 4 kills coming their way. NH Esports, that was some really, really good nades and good angles there from Ming first of all. Also Twisted Minds, they had out their timing and their push was just rough. But here, Vard, of course, 6 kills, 700 damage, nearly 1,000 from T-Bone, but only 2 kills going his way. Whew. Yeah, and you can see how happy Beamy is. I love to see him bowling. Like, he just has to continue to do so. But that... The headshots on PU as well, that completely destroyed him.
I suspect T-Bone helped Vard a little bit with those destructions based on that damage there.
For sure.
But man of the match, deservedly. And there were still 5 teams alive, and I think we looked at each other and said, man, I hope Foot wins this because Vard deserves man of the match with how well he has played. This is a team that deserves the respect of everyone in the field. They are made up of every single member has had PGC appearances. Every single member has a pedigree for perfection, and seeing them come out with 2 strong games really right out of the gate is very, very exciting. 22 points.
Kind of expected, I gotta say. Like, these guys, they are just that good. And I am stupid me. I kind of had a chat with them before the games today, and I promised them if they want a game, I'll get them beers.
Oh, yeah, so now you got...
I'm 6 beers cheap down. That's unfortunate. But still, 52 points for Asla Pentagram. That's nuts. They are super far ahead. Foot also. It's the same case as yesterday here. We're halfway through the day, Toffees, and now we have 2 teams punching at the top again. Another even for 4 a.m. in the bottom here. If you have 3 points right now, it's only 14 more points up to 17 Gaming right now that are luckily now on 17 points. Beautiful. Always love to see like that. But still, it's easy. 1 good game and you are in the top 8. And again, it's not the same case as we saw yesterday.
Even beyond that, a 10-kill win. And you get to be in the top 3. And that's pretty common, right? Literally, last place with 10 kills would move into first. So it really is anybody's game, and that is due in large part to the sponges we're seeing at the top. But, you know, not surprised with that when it comes to group stages. We often see teams that are starting strong, you know, sort of run with that momentum. We'll see how teams adjust. I think we saw some uncomfortable positions. There was that castle with the fact that there was just no cover outside. If you're not using a bridge to get in or have a wall, there's nothing you can do.
The guys described it perfectly. Like, it's like a mini urban ending, but it's super, super compressed. And also the elevation, the levels inside out, like you can just accommodate so many players and teams in that small area, and then it ends up ending not there. Then you just have to kind of fight and get as many points as you can here. And NH Esports did that perfectly. Clean out as much as you can, and then when you get out, try to see if we can get some more kills outside. Did perfectly onto Question Mark, but once you have to leave the gate, you're just done for.
And that was it. We saw New Happy. We saw him here on the screen a second ago. They were playing, and I think Poro said it, tower defense. They set up for, as you called it, Castle TD. But when it shifted away, the drawbridge has to come down, and the siege is going to get you. But had it shifted into the castle, I think New Happy, that's an easy walk away from them. So again, this is like Foot losing game 1 on the top of the mountain. They can't really be mad. They played well with a defensive position. New Happy made good choices. Unfortunately, the shift put them in a tough situation.
And we love urban ending side. We would have loved to see a castle ending at this level here, at this stage of the competition. That would have been beautiful. But then again, still, Foot deserved this one. They fought for it, and now they're in a good situation here. We're halfway through the day. I gotta say, this Vikendi game was fantastic. I'm super excited for Tego.
I am excited because that's where we're headed next. We're gonna go to Tego, see how it shakes up, give a chance for the players to get some fresh jumps and maybe some fresh drops. Remember, this is a new map. It has not been in play very long, so sometimes the players aren't going to know what to expect. They're going to have to search for those secret dips. They're going to have to find ways to make tough circles work. What do you want to see out of Tego?
I gotta say, I'm just excited to see if we see any hot drops. Like that's the most interesting. Again, we talked a little bit about the players. They're like it's just one of the maps or both of the maps. We're gonna get our points mainly on Erangel and Miramar. So yeah, are we gonna need hot drops? That's really my my curiosity.
All right, we'll find out. It's time for us to head over to Tego with game number 4.
Time to Tego.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much, gentlemen. And we are ready to head over into Tego as we take a look at a beautiful waterfall, Toby. It's a very serene and peaceful place there on the island. But it's about to be very not serene and very not peaceful as it's been much today.
Now, I know that these drop spot markers on the map came in a little earlier. I'm not expecting a 4-way hot drop in Yeongcheon.
You don't think?
I'm not expecting a 3-way hot drop in Terminal. Having said Terminal, though, 4 a.m. in China, in PCL, 4 a.m. and 17 Gaming loot right next to each other. 17 Gaming will take Terminal, 4 a.m. will sit on the road up towards that northern side, just chilling up there. Now, I'm just saying, if PMA comes in and joins the party with 17, that is the freest third-party opportunity for 4 a.m. ever. So while it was all calm and controlled in China, it might not be the case now that PMA joins the party too.
I mean, if there's a team that needs it, it would be 4 a.m. because they are dead last right now. They have 3 points, and I don't think anybody expected that. You know, I think I personally. Oh, okay, Kit, getting a little. Look at that. The man,
he survives.
That man knows his way around a pole.
Well, I mean, he got 2 of them. That just worked out even better.
Even better.
Howell wants their IGL alive as he makes his way back to safety. Last, like, I have you. I got you. I got him 2.9. And I got a bolt action as well. He's ready to take out all of them.
He's not leaving him out there. Look at that, 96. He's so chill. He's like, I've got. You see all these poles I got? There's no way they're killing me. It's easy.
It's just chilling.
Not even concerned.
Chilling. And then he gets run over by Schofield. Oh no, no mind.
But yeah, no. 4 a.m. Definitely in need of a little shot to the arm, man. Only 3 points on the day overall. That is, I got to tell you, I wasn't expecting them to light the world on fire here in the first day, but I was at least expecting them to be in the middle of the pack, maybe creeping up towards the top.
Now, in 4 a.m.'s defense, the games today have been pretty wild circle-wise too. Having said that, I do believe that I had bigger expectations coming into it, but then we go back and we look through their PCL performance. It was rough. It was just far from pretty. I think 4 a.m. suffers under the same problems that some of the other Chinese teams do. That, in my opinion, the rosters are just too big. Like, they bounce in and out players all the time. Active 8-man rosters where they can take players out for the events to come. And 4 a.m., I mean, I'm loving the fact that they have Bobo here. Bobo played a phenomenal qualifier, but he's very new. He's very inexperienced. And maybe for global stage, I mean, if they have big gun experienced players, that could be it. If not, believe in Bobo and then go believe that you can go out and make those plays. You have Xiaopian and HSMM, 2 of the players that pretty much took New Happy from nothing to the best team in China, the best team in the world at one point. They just haven't gotten it to work within them yet. They have Crazy and a phenomenal fragger. And now with Bobo, as I said too, they are a roster that on paper should be one of the best teams in China, arguably one of the best teams in the world. We just have yet to see this specific 4-man roster be able to get it going.
And that's fair. And I think, look, you look at it, again, it's 3 matches in, right? And all it's going to take is 1 match, and all of this is forgotten. And you know, you just look at what the total points are at the end of the day and where they sit on the leaderboard, and that's all that matters. So, you know, a little bit slow 3. A slow 3-game start is not the end of the world by any means.
Oh, no. Still plenty more games to be played here. And I think for 4 a.m., one of the things that I had hoped for this group stage in particular is that this lobby caters right into what they want to do. They want to play it slow in the bit initially and then bomb it towards the center. But now let's hop on over and get a little bit of a highlight here from Question Mark and see how they qualified on through.
thorn in a lot of team sides right now as they're sending over nades again. That's a big damage. Oh, Aiden goes down as well. Another nade of Ibby. While all of this has been going on, this is an opportunity for DA to absolutely plow the rest of the lobby. They can just finish off question.
There you go. You didn't have to hear yourself this time. We got to hear the dulcet tones of one James Carroll. We see beautiful stuff from question mark here. Everybody's slowly kind of finding their spot here in Tego. Nothing too spicy early on here. And though we have a number of teams on rotation, but here is a team that I know that everybody wants to hear more about. We're going to take a quick listen in to an interview with 17's Lil Ghost.
泰国的天气气候晚上的气候是最舒服的，已经习以为常了。这次参加 PGC 的感受是，希望能弥补上一次的遗憾。我觉得因为今年的赛事增加了很多的新的地图，但我们对泰格还有雪地还有新的沙漠地图做了很多的研究，花费了很多的时间去熟悉新的地图，加入比赛中。相比较今年来说，我们对游戏上付出的时间更多，在比赛上。这次比赛我们很有信心拿下一个很好的成绩，我们很稳定。
Words from the man himself, the Poltergeist. We are very stable. Well, I am glad you guys are because Lord knows I'm not, Toby. Yeah,
I feel like regardless of what I say to that, it's going to come off wrong, so I'm just not going to say anything.
Like putting you in these bear trap type situations. That's what I live for, honestly.
You know what? I don't mind it. It's good. It's good. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Well,
Twisted Minds? Yeah.
Twisted Minds, full 4 guys up, and we haven't hit 10 minutes yet.
Don't jinx it. They've still got opponents nearby. Trying to just for once actually keep all 4 alive through an early game. And again, I mean, Twisted Minds, you mentioned it off camera, but you said they are the undisputed champions of losers bracket. I mean, Twisted Minds, as good as they are in grand finals, as consistent as they are at getting podium finishes, they are slow starters. But Tulin's brain works in a way that he needs to see games played on the server against the teams he's going to be going up against on the LAN event. And then once he gets that, he's going to go home, he's going to cook up a recipe for success that very few, if any, teams can replicate to the extent that these guys have done it time and time and time and time again, and they'll come back strong for the losers bracket, for the grand finals, almost, I mean, actually, always as well.
You know, it's... I'm going to do something that I know chat hates when I do this, but I'm going to...
That's why you have to do it.
I'm going to do it's very similar to baseball, right? The more often a hitter gets to see a pitcher throw balls, the more they get used to seeing getting used to like how they throw it and what to expect and how it looks when it's coming that. So that's kind of, I would imagine, the same as Batu. The more rounds they get to play, the more often they see these teams, the more information they have, the better they feel about going forward. Now, again, you also like to be able to hit the home run off the first pitch too, right? And that's something that Twisted Minds is more than capable of doing at any given moment, is they can come in here and win a game with, 15 kills. But if it doesn't happen, I think you're not as worried if you're a TM fan.
I'm amazed you just took the time talking in baseball references and never threw in the word curveball. That was a perfect opportunity to say, but they've been fed curveballs all tournaments so far.
That's true.
But you know what? I liked it. I liked it. A little bit of baseball analogy. It made perfect sense too, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Okay. Now again, pre-10-minute fighting.
You jinxed it. This is on you, Paul. This is on you.
Honestly, okay. Look, they're so far away from each other. It's fine. Even if they get a knock, it's not like they're gonna get a flush.
Considering who they're surrounded by in question mark, Foot, Twisted Minds themselves, I mean Penta and Sixel, I would be surprised if anyone just full-on YOLOs into them. Now, one fun thing here is question mark and Foot Esports in the EMEA usually always play into these takeover circles from each their side of the circle, and right now they're set practically kind of at one bus stop from one another. Now, Foot Esports, they're used to or prefer to be the last team to join the party, but they too have a team behind them in Purple Mood, so we'll see if they run into trouble. Foot, they have had issues losing players early on Takeo in particular on rotation, where again, I mean, the desk broke it down. Teams just don't know this map as well as they know Erangel and Miramar. So you will get caught off sometimes by a player who's in a position you just couldn't have predicted off of, no matter the amount of prep work you had done. And we'll see if they play a little more cautious here than they have been doing in EMEA.
You know, I'm checking in with ZP on here, the rest of the 4A. They are surrounded by PMA and 17 right now, or at least half of 17, as they're in that 2-2 split they normally put. But looking at Foot and looking at Purple Mood, I'm not even sure the Foot was aware that Purple Mood was back there. So 4
exactly.
Hopping in the vehicles, again, here you see they get a little bit close to PMA, get shot at, move around, should be fine. I am Pete, gonna smoke this off just to make sure. It's a nervous smoke.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. You just heard 2 vehicles come over the top. You don't know where those remaining players are. Might as well play it safe if you have the smokes to use. Circle down towards the south we go. Expect to see a lot of southern wraps on this one, especially given how many teams are up towards that northeast. PMA, 4 AM. 4 AM are pretty much guaranteed to be coming in all the way down from Songam once the circle comes through.
And right off the bat, Twisted Minds tries to get in the vehicles, get back on the move, and Pentagram's going to be right on their backs, breathing down their throats, or breathing down their necks, rather. That's the other one is a little bit weirder. Question mark, taking a few shots over that as well. Gen G getting involved. Also, is like you said, a number of these teams are trying to go around the outside, but so many, Toby, you're trying to go right down the middle of this thing.
Yeah, unlucky that that Adder felt like shooting his teammate in the back of the head, but at least they get to live through it. Spiro, though, not quite so, because Poro had to jinx them. So first player down this game is going to be one of the players from Twisted Minds. That's now 3 games out of 4. Twisted has been 3 at the 10-minute mark.
Now Perfectic's going to get knocked here by Wicked as well. Do they have anybody around them? Can they get this res? Looks like Lou might be in a good position to do so. Batu trying to distract, but he's only able to distract one of them. So you can see Adder taking shots over in that direction, but unfortunately for him, Akari still has Lou and his teammate kind of in the sights. But it looks like Batu's just going to go into the city and just find a building to hold on. Yeah, he's
nothing for him to do.
He's playing for survival at this point. As Lou and Perfectix will go down.
Nothing for him to do here at all. Pentagram again. I mean, they're just speaking of teams that, I mean, the whole how you kind of feel it out in the early stages of tournaments. Pentagram is doing the opposite. Is this because they have trillions and trillions of matches played on a global stage before? Most likely, because teams that are uncomfortable, teams that aren't used to the pressure of being on a global stage, usually tend to slow things down a little bit, or just completely go kind of headless into fights. Pentagram, they have the perfect in between. They don't go completely overzealous, but they also just don't sit back and hope for the perfect opportunity, because you cannot wait for that to come around. You have to make that happen yourself. And again, I mean, Pentagram, they are, at least off of today's games, pretty much perfect in their timing in some of these fights they're taking.
Absolutely. I mean, they're not second-guessing themselves, right?
Exactly.
They're seeing that they have an advantage situation, and they're saying, you know what, let's go. Let's push it. Let's get it done quickly and move on. Xabe will find Kit. Kit tried to do a little bit of a seat swap there. Didn't work out for him, though. And now Xabe inside the compound. Teddy, just going to hop in the vehicle. Yeah, just get on.
Okay, bye. That's right. It didn't work out. Shots are still being fired from a bit of a distance as the remaining 2 PMA players are trying to do some damage from afar. But Xabe will be able to stay alive. And Teddy, well, he's going to be coming home, but without his teammate.
He'll be fine. PMA will be playing as 3. Now, the only thing they've got to worry about really is 4 AM on their south side that have just entered the zone. And we'll see where they decide to go once this next circle pops. But already, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of real estate, a lot of room in this circle to play, and there's still 60 alive.
And again, this is very 4 AM-esque in the, as I said before, them wanting to swing all the way south around into Songam, and now potentially looking to try and go somewhere center. Issue is, as we look at this new center circle, well, you got Enterforce 36 in the compound in the crossroads. Outside of that, there isn't really anything to play around.
It's not great. Hosan, that's, I mean, New Happy's going to have to make their way down in there. Genji, Howl, already on the south side of the city. 17 looks like they might be creeping over there. Xiao Wu They've got the vehicle. They're just kind of scouting out, I think, maybe to see if anybody's looking to backfill them. But 17 has some big moves to make. 4 a.m., you can see them just pushing in just north of Songam. They're just, again, forever rapping, just constantly rapping. And I don't know when they think they are going to find a spot to make their way in on a zone like this with 60 alive.
And that was the other side of the coin that we saw in China, them continuing to wait for the perfect hole to get into that circle, rapping, going around team after team after team, just to in the end having lost too many players on their rotations round, that all the air was out of the balloon, all the gas was out of the vehicles, and they fell down.
It's just how, I mean,
rotate themselves to death, essentially.
That's how it's felt so far today, anyway. At least we'll see if they can maybe turn things around for the last 2 games on Miramar, or maybe even for this one.
It's not done yet.
They definitely still have time. And fortunately for them, it looks like Purple Mood actually moved out of a spot to go push a little bit closer to foot, so maybe open a door there. New Happy, meanwhile, as we said, making their way down in Hosan. 17 just off to the east of that. They're going to get shot at from range by Genius, but other than that, pretty clean here for 17.
Well, Sushu did get headshotted, as you said, so hopefully be able to stop and get healed on up at some point soon. But of course they have to figure out where that place to stop is first, and that's again where lacking map knowledge comes through from the majority of teams. But we heard from 17 Gaming, they've spent a lot of time looking at Tego and McKendy, as of course we would come to expect. So they have found themselves a dip to play from.
Nice little spot too, and New Happy. I mean, you feel like they're aware that Hal is there, or maybe they've spotted somebody, but they just don't know where they all are. So this is very methodical, very slow for New Happy, because they know that the chances of them getting taken by surprise are pretty high here, but chances of them of taking Hal by surprise even larger, as the grenade's going to come out on a Scofeld. That's going to be 2 right in the lap of him. He will find Nan, though, so that may pause things down enough here for Hal to regroup.
Yep, Ruin now has to try and buy some time. They do have the mat on a wide flank around. If he can come in and backstep from behind here, that would be insane. He has 2 players pretty much lined up in just about 10 seconds time. You can see Hal trying to throw flashes on over, trying to slow things down and allow for the mat to come through from the blue and potentially find a double knock here. It would be absolutely insane if they're able to buy enough time for that to happen.
Oh, Ruin, you just got to be slow. Play it slow. Play it slow. Laza will get spotted out by December 12th, unfortunately. And there you go. The Mad will finally reveal his position. We'll find December 12th. And now the sandwich is on. CC108 going to just push into Ruin. Oh, what a peek from Ruin. We'll find that knock, and now it's just down to Ming and Nan.
Nice little lean there off of the vehicle. Ruin able to get down one more. Ming torn apart. Now finally the mat has been dealt with. He'll be able to stay put for now, but Nan is all alone. He's up against 1 on the side of Howl on the other. That's Ruin trying to get something going, but here comes Gen G saying, oh, a third-party opportunity. Don't mind if we do.
That actually saves New Happy.
It might.
If Nan can actually get these 2 reses, that would be unbelievable. And you can see Pio and Songyang just kind of looking up over that ridgeline, but they don't have an angle on it. They're not seeing it. They know that there's 2 bodies over here.
Exactly.
There we go. There's going to spot out. Pio will finally see it.
Yep.
And the grenade will come through.
Imagine that it's just a question of time before New Happy will indeed fall down. They will commit to the rest. That nade just a bit too fast. More are being locked on over. But Gen G again, I mean, they're a team that just don't want to go overzealous. They don't have all the info that they want to try and take this fight. So they're backing off a bit, waiting for them to come on through. They know that they have players taken down already, so play it smart and wait it out.
Keep your eyes on the skies when you hear those mortars in the air, because you never know when one might land right in your lap. As 4 a.m. under big time pressure here from a number of different teams, not the least of which being T-Bone and the Foot Boys. You can see they are trying to find a way inside this zone, and it looks like they have picked 4 a.m.'s little spot here, and they're just going to crash it.
Ooh, get back inside the building. If Ruinate just before. Now it's going to be a smoke deployed as well, trying to grind himself some more time, but Beam knows exactly what to do about that. Love Molly on in, turn around. We'll see if he can find something. As now pressure is coming from behind once more. You're seeing Purple Mood trying to engage from a distance here.
Yeah, Purple Mood has been a thorn in the side of Foot this entire time. Here's Crazy's going to find 8C through the smoke. Had no idea even where he was, just managed to find him. At 4 a.m., still 4 up. Where are the rest of the boys? Are they trying to provide some support here? Beamy, he's got the problem of Purple Moon as well, and T-Bone will provide a little bit of relief here.
Yeah, spotted the first one for the shot, and the second when he realized there was more than that in front of him. He had to fall back to safety. Thanawat now from the northern side trying to suppress and doing a good job of that too. He's a solo player up on this hillside. He has to force T-Bone down. He cannot allow him to peek on over, and Bobo on the other side is able to do the damage needed. 3 kills now for 4AM as they continue to rack up points.
4AM is doing amazing. I don't even know how crazy manages to live through all of that, but he does. And Purple Moon, meanwhile, you see Tanawa trying to keep an eye on QM on the north side. They've cleaned up whatever they like to clean up here on the south beam. He's still alive for foot, but you got to imagine not too much longer for this world. E36 has also found an angle on this from their compound inside the center of the circle. Thunder's landing some shots. You're seeing some blood splatters, but he's not getting the knock. Fluky will, though. Zepion going to go down.
They know exactly where they have 4AM again. I mean, 4AM stuck on vehicles and rocks. Nothing else to work with outside the circle. The tires have been popped long ago. I'm not sure how they're planning on getting out of here. It's a long run to the compound. It's a long run to the circle. And I don't think they're going to make it. Fluky does find Beamy. That is foot out in 13th.
Very clean stuff there for Fluky, rather, as Beamy, he knew he was inside, prepped it with the flashbang, did not take any chances. That was as easy as they come. And 4AM still 4 up somehow, some way in this wide open field. They've got Sixel just off to their east, PLM off to their west. And there's Thunder going to find the opening knock onto Zepion, but that should be another revive coming in here. But again, 4AM has just been just beaten and battered here so much. You got to imagine they don't have much left in the ways of oh, now that second knock on a Bobo, actually, that's huge.
I mean, they are going to die. There's no way they come back to the rest. If there should be no reason for HSMM to actually try and go for the rest, and no, Purple Mood knows that they have the double knock. Might as well come over and try and see if they can claim those points. Off of it, able to get one, gets the second as well. The crowd once again goes wild as Purple Mood, their hometown heroes, continues to find points here.
Well, they are looking real good right now. Suze is taking out 4AM as well as now HSM, the last one alive. Sixel, they are trying to do as much as they can as well, as we're just kind of bouncing around from fight to fight to fight. So many things happening all at once here. Fluky down to just no HP. Thunder's going to be, let's see if he can maybe get over there and get the revive, as he will get knocked.
And no one is even remotely considering crashing the compound. E36 has the entirety to their own and have had the entirety of that compound to themselves for the entire game. This is absolutely insane. Everyone forcing fights out in the open, feeling like we have to go, because obviously there's going to be like 8 teams waiting for us in there.
Well, the compound is so huge.
Exactly. They're barely even, they're 1-1-2 splitting in phase 6. This should not be happening. But E36 are like, you know what, if you're not going to push us, I mean, we'll just maintain control.
The grenades from Boliang, a little bit short, it looks like. But that's going to be good news for Purple Mood fans. As we take a look, see where the next zone is going to pop. As you said, just look at this carport that's going on the edge here. Just nothing going on. And again, the compound gets the circle. As you can see what we're talking about. There's so many different ways that this thing could be crashed, and nobody has tried.
Even the compound is saying, guys, it's over here. Just come take a house. It's free real estate. In the meantime, PO swings on over. Does with the Grocer where the Grocer does it best. Peeks on forward, finds the double. Should be able to get at least Xiong Yang down before 17 is able to push on through. But these sharks are in the water already, and they smell blood as they creep their way further forward.
Shawu on that.
No.
You
hear the crowd.
Yeah. he would very much like, he's going to miss it, though. Songyang will go down, though. PO takes a little bit of damage as well. Hasn't spotted out Esther. The grenades are coming through, though. Gotta imagine it's only a matter of time before Genji is finished off, and there it is. Just like that, 17 cleaning up.
Absolutely perfect utility lopped on forward from Lil Ghost there. I'm not sure if he shot the grenade from the Panzerfaust there, but impressive reaction nonetheless. Here comes Luminosity. He's been sat on the northeastern side for a while, just chilling things out. But Boliang is now there to try and help out E36 into the compound breach.
Oh, Sixel, they immediately get those 2 knocks out, like, where's the vehicles? Where are they? Let's just go, and they're going to try to get in there as quickly as possible. LG has the smokes laid down. Sylphia is going to find the knock flush. Oh, my God, look at the damage he's doing onto Sixel as well. LG trying to hold the line here, but they are just getting picked apart by a combination of Sixel and EG. Mime, the last one alive. Can he get the revive on Dorello?
And this is what everyone was waiting for, that one team that dared to crash, and they said, we will gladly be the third party, but we are the Cerebro lobby. We are the ones that play it smart, and no one is the first team to crash a compound. We'll be the third party pickup, and now, well, welcome sixth party. They're all in the compound now.
Let's see what the duo from LG can get done here as the 4-man push coming in from Sixel. Rello will get 1, Rello will get 2, almost gets the 3rd. Mime will try to come around from the other side, but it might be a little bit too late here. Suzanne Lorena very, very low. Mime has to stop down and try to reset.
In a matter of 15 seconds, every single team left alive crashed straight into this compound. Lorena now, the angle is there, but Thunder's dodge is just underneath.
Thunders will take out Mime. That'll be it for LG. Sixel will be able to get the res off. Back up to 3 strong. Thunders finds Lorena through the window. What a peak battle happening here. Fluky finds MML, and now it's just down to 1. Purple Mood proving everybody wrong as they come in here and absolutely dominate this Chinese powerhouse.
They push in as 2. They get it going now. It might just shut out the Molly as well. That's going to be 1 down. That's 2 down, and down it goes Sixel. Shen Yi Xinlong falls as Purple Mood's duo of Floki and Thunders makes their way into top 4.
They've still got a lot of work left ahead of them, though. They are down to a duo. There are a lot of full teams here left. Legacy, we haven't even talked about them yet. They've managed to make it in here in 6 kills this game so far, and 4 up. They are in the compound. They have, looks like E36 basically pushed into one building of their own. And now 17 has to come in from the north side, but they've got to make their way across a road. This is going to be real tough.
17's decision here is, do we push south or not? We heard all the commotion down there earlier. Do we try to take the fight northeast? We have seen players in the E36 building. Do we just wrap towards the west now and then follow on the southern side of the road? That might be the play for them, but you can see them with shotgun in hands now. They might be eyeing a straight-on push towards E36.
Legacy not trying to take more than what has been given to them.
They're rubbing north around?
17. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, God. They got the cars and they got the Panzerfaust. It's not going to work, though. Legacy, Gizera will find 1. PGC will find another. LFP will finish him off. Xiaowu gets in there. He's got a shotgun in hand. Not even going to get a chance to use it as E36 just cleans him up.
That seemed a little rushed, in my opinion. I mean, the blue wasn't on them yet. There were still plenty of decisions or plenty of options to do other plays, but this felt like a very last resort commitment in a situation where it wasn't necessarily needed.
Well, either way, Legacy now looking across the street, 8 kills in the bag for them. Huge game. This is a big pickup from what's been otherwise a little bit of a slow start to their day.
Yeah.
Tego turning things around. As they can manage to get this win, they will be right up at the top with the rest of the gang here. But Star-Lord and the rest of E36, they've had a banger of a day so far.
Exactly.
Now all they need is that victory to put a little exclamation point on the end of it.
While Japan might not be the biggest fraggers in the world, they're pretty damn good at making a late game presence. And here they are once more, top 3. As you said, it's been a good day for them overall. Let's see if they can potentially bring this one home.
But I can tell you who everybody in this arena wants to win here, and it is the duo of Purple Mood. Can they pull off the impossible?
I feel like they baited the audience here time and time again yesterday. They were oh so close to bringing it home. It just didn't happen, and now, well,
they don't have to leave their compound. They don't have to leave their side of the street.
The thing is, as you're saying, I mean, they're waiting for the fight on the north to happen. I hope they've read the situation and understands that they have the entire south under their control. Now, Fluky hasn't cleared the furthest west compound or building yet, and I think that's what they're looking to do. But since no shots have been fired, I think they're expecting that the remaining 7 players are all north of this street.
I think the play here, if they could do it, you keep an eye on here. You wait forever. You don't make any move until you absolutely have to. But if you can find a knock just anywhere on either team. But it doesn't even matter. Legacy's going to go ahead and push forward. They're taking this thing into their own hands. Star-Lord wasn't even expecting it. Pulls around the side of the wall. Gets flashbanged. Has to pull back.
I love this aggression. The smokes deployed means that they're trying to isolate Purple Moon on the southern side. They don't want any third-party interference. They just want to push on forward. Take the fight. They have the numbers advantage. Sky Zero finds one. LFP finds the other. Just Exec left alive, and he falls too.
Wow.
Clean sweep from Legacy. This is the strong fighting Brazilian team we've seen before in Nations Cup, in previous tournaments in the NA region as well. And here they are once more, absolutely brawling through into Force 36.
Absolutely textbook, an absolute work of art push from Legacy. It does not get any cleaner than that. But now they have this final duo on the south side of the street to worry about. Fluky and Thunder, 7 points already, 7 kills, but Legacy, they do not want to leave this to chance. They want to secure this victory and come home with at least, hopefully, 23 points.
And again, I mean, you can see how Purple Moon is holding this. Thunders is just full-on tunnel visioning the furthest west building. They're expecting that someone is still in and around there. I don't even fault them for not having counted the kill feed probably, because they went hectic at one point, and they were fighting through that insane kill feed too. So it would have been very difficult for them to keep track of everything. But now they're committing to it. Now they're trying to push on over. They too want to finish out what could potentially be a fight for second. Little do they know that second place spot is already guaranteed.
I'm trying to look at the utility in the hands here. Yeah, you can see them swapping smokes. There's not a lot of them to go around, but you got to have those smokes ready to go. It's ending in the dead center of that street, and I can't imagine Purple Mood is sitting on much else.
And I feel like the utility is what's going to save him. Fluky, one nade. If you can find one, like instantly with a nade here, nothing to work with the Thunders. That's what's going to give them this win. I mean, right now Legacy is just in too good a position for them to fall down. But then again, we have seen Purple Mood hit some good shots today. They took the fight 2v3 to Xiao Yi Shenlong. Let's see if they can, by miracle, win a 2v4 as well.
That's what I'm looking for. Don't use the, if you're Legacy, you're throwing the smoke. Oh my goodness. If you're Legacy, you're throwing the smokes over on top of Purple Mood, forcing them to push out of the smoke into you. And look at that. Gizero will find the angle. There it is. Fluky will go down. Thunder is the last one up. RBN gets him down to 1 HP, and he'll finally get finished off. And what a performance from Legacy. A valuable 13-kill win, and they are feeling themselves.
They are happy, and they have good reason to be just that. The last team to join the compound, the team that waited the longest, able to come out victorious. Great performance, but you cannot take anything away from Purple Mood here either. They fought through foot. They fought through 4 AM. They brawled their way into the compound and clear out Xiao Li Shenlong as well. Purple Mood is a team that has gone under many people's radar, but they're here to fight.
Absolutely are, and the Brazilian powerhouse gets their first victory of the day and the first victory of the tournament. Let's throw it over to the analyst desk to hear what they have to say.
The journey to a true legacy starts with a chicken dinner, and they get that right now. Gizera leads the charge, and man, these guys played that incredibly well.
I thought it started with a step of 1,000 miles.
Well, the first journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, but you got to solidify a legacy by winning chicken dinners. I'm just saying.
And I got to say, after this game, they are for sure.
Yes.
Good to see Gizera and the boys pop up here, the Brazilian powerhouse coming in. And yeah, that was beautiful. Super well executed. I was like, when are somebody gonna breach this come on here?
Yeah.
And they did so perfectly timed. Once LG was on the other side kind of stuck, and they got caught up in a fight that was just rough here. Beautiful plays coming out of Songyang as well from Gen.G. I gotta say, nice nades here. That double nade opened it up for Genius there. Completely shut it down from Gizera. Yeah, really good shots from Robin coming in as well. FP, there's so many good shots coming in general from Legacy. They were able to close this out. That aggressive push on E36 as well. The timing on that, perfect.
To take it before they expected it. Like, that was really smart. They locked out that corner.
So then they have the space. Like, they could widen out, right?
I think that's a symptom. Sometimes teams just wait too long, and that's right. That push, taking Star-Lord off of his defensive position, allowed them to come in, and you saw how fast, once they dropped Star-Lord, E36 was deleted from the game. And so that was just beautiful play. They stand up, they spread their arms, as proud as they can be to walk away with that win. and they deserve it. So congratulations to Legacy. I support you. I stand there as well and say, you guys, I'm proud of you for what you did. I think they'll continue to go forward. Gazera doesn't look like he has any intentions to stop anytime soon.
No, and for 13,000K or 13,000 pick on a fantasy, that's a pickup right there. Super good to see them come in here. 4 games played now.
Yeah.
We got Miramar. If they can build a little bit of momentum off this, they might solidify themselves right there. And again, we're talking about a bit jump. They were 10th or so going into this. Not that many points. Huge game for them. They put themselves straight into the top 4, top 3.
I mean, we did say that. We said any team that comes out with a 10-kill win and puts up the numbers can jump into the top because of how the day started today. They do that, and now they are not only in competition, but really in a place where they can play whatever consistency game they want going forward and try to and really kind of solidify that top 8 for them.
And for a young crew like these guys, right, to get this that early,
that's big.
That is huge for them. That momentum and the morale and the confidence that these guys are going to be able to put behind themselves is going to be huge.
And I like when you say confidence because that circle stunk. That was a hard circle to play, especially if you weren't in the compound where E36 was. And the fact that they were able to make the push, able to get E36, the true defenders of the compound out, is going to give them such a big move because it was smart play from Legacy.
And you can see the utility uses is just what puts him in there. 22 smokes, 14 nades, stun grenades, Molotovs. Beautiful executed by here. That was honestly also just straight out of the playbook. That is exactly how, when you have a compound in the middle, when you have especially such a big compound there, I was contemplating when is the push going to be, because E36 was on a super greedy 2-1-1 split, had most parts of the compound, actually got into a good spot, took the correct kind of side, but then Legacy, good timing on the push. You can see your E36, they're super focused on trying to get the kills across the road, right? When Luminosity, they were breaching, they were like, okay, there's some free points, let's try to get it. Legacy pushed that exact time, stabilized, got healed up, got boosted up, and then took it on here. And Gazera, 7 kills, but only 400 damage. That's a lot of steals coming in there. LFP, of course, putting in a lot of damage coming in.
Yeah, LFP deserves to roll up that sleeve after the amount of work that he did, 762 damage. Legacy played the timing right. And you brought up people needed to crash that compound. The problem was everything around the compound was basically like a moat, just a giant open space. And so you saw with Luminosity, they couldn't try to crash until they got a knock on the team that was holding them. And that seemed to be the case across the board. Gazera does get the man of the match, deservedly so. We saw kill after kill, but also he was willing to be the tip of the spear. He was willing to go in there and to kind of follow when he needed to with LFP, but also take some really good shots when it was necessary.
Yeah, good nade as well, opened up, and then the follow-up nade as well by the boys. Honestly, super well executed. I'm just sad he's not my captain at the moment because Perfective has not been putting up the points. 23 bomb for them coming in. That's going to be huge. They're going to be putting in a lot of points. They had 9 before this. They're going to be 32 and in 2nd place after this year. So it's huge, huge game for them.
I want to give a shout out to Purple Mood Gaming. I mean, this is a team that got 2nd, 13 points total. I thought they were out of it back around 8 or 9 because they were rotating on the outside. They were in scrap after scrap after scrap. And then all of a sudden I see them cleaning up this fight that was between LG and Sixel, and they did it so well. They're going to move up to 9th off the back of that, but here it is. Legacy jumps to 3rd.
Yeah, huge for them. I got to say, though, as well, with the Purple Mood, it felt like they were just feeding off the energy the crowd was giving them, because we were multiple times, like when the castles were going on as well, I feel like they were almost dying. Like they almost again. They stayed 2 alive. They squeezed out so many points out of this game that they probably shouldn't have. But yeah, 22 and 9th here, good for them. And again, even if you're Howl on 8 points, all positive and lands you on 5, like just one good game still, one big game, and you're going to be in there.
Wide open. Now, it's not over just today. We've got 12 games in total to play, but getting that lead when you're in a scenario where top 8 is all that matters, starting out big on day 1 so that you can rest. You can come in not stressed and not forced with your back against the wall on the final day of play is important, so Legacy going to be happy with that. But again, Purple Mood, you could hear the crowd come alive inside of this facility. And it was such a hard circle to play. There was no cover. It was 2 in a row. Every time we've seen this Tego Vikendi, yes, the players don't know the maps as well, but the maps are also making life very hard for these players.
For sure. Like a compound ending like this here, especially when you have a road, a kind of T intersection road like that, it is just super hard, because if you have to cross later and you have two big teams that are sitting on the other side, you're going to get absolutely destroyed, right? So yeah, get the most out of it and just wait to make sure you have the right timing in the breach if you know it's going to end there.
Right, and I think even with E36, this idea that they had a lot of ground to cover, they probably were shocked to be even, like, how do we defend this?
Right.
And I think that that's what a lot of teams are going to be thinking about when it comes to these 2 maps in the future. Stick around, we're going back to Miramar in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
아침에 일어나서 가장 먼저 무엇을 하나요? 에스프레소와 책 한 권을 읽습니다.
Fácil. Buenísimo, amigo, no es re fácil, amigo.
More weather, more weather.
我们生意新闻实验室刚组建不久的新队伍，这次能进 PGC 已经大大超乎我们的预期了，我们一定会加油的。
Here's the weather update for the Rondo area. And from the Rondo region, if you've been yearning for the sun after yesterday, please check your flight schedules to ensure your travel plans are...
Why did you come to Rondo? Stand your ground.
Hello, everybody. We are back once again for our final 2 games of the day. Toby, we are headed over to the dusty dunes of Miramar to wrap things up.
I like it.
I know
like
you do.
it a lot.
Everybody does. Everybody
Yeah.
loves Miramar. Who doesn't love Miramar? Well, we got through the insanity of Tego and Vikendi, and we got to see a legacy win here on the final game of Tego. So who do you think, going into Miramar, now that we're getting back a little bit more to what we're, everybody's used to playing, a little bit more comfort zone, what are you kind of expecting to see? Is there anybody that's really kind of been slow to start, maybe, that you're looking to kind of maybe ramp things up here in these final 2 games?
I think, to go off of what you just said, comfort is
Comfort is key.
We're due a Chinese win.
You think so?
I believe
I
we
think
are.
so.
We've seen 17 play better and better into it. We've seen New Happy as well get things going really, really well with this. I don't want to say newer lineup, because they have played quite a few tournaments together, but this new play style of New Happy being very cautious. And if there's one thing that works for Miramar, sure, if you get a couple of circles going your way, that is, you can really play Miramar slow. You don't have to aggress, you don't have to bomb at center. You can stay out on those edges for a good while and get things going, and that is going to play right into the pocket of a lot of those Chinese teams.
I think you're right about New Happy. I think 17 was another one that got very, very close that last game, only to have things brutally ripped out of their hands. But I'm going to go with Luminosity.
Fair.
We are going down to Miramar. This is America's territory, baby. And I expect the boys from LG to put on a show here in the final 2 games of the day. We've already seen Legacy represent the Americas regions here. Let's see if we can get a little bit more in there, as we haven't seen anything from Europe either. But again, typically slow as far as group starts go. We did see Foot.
I was going to say,
really
is this where I remind you that Foot won Vikendi?
No. But, I mean, I guess the argument that would be in a lobby with Twisted Minds, would you be expecting Foot to be the one to be the first European team to get a win?
In group stages, yes.
Okay.
If grand finals come around, I think we're looking more in a tied situations. Foot is known to be a team that usually comes off very strong from the start. They play confident from start to finish. I've had plenty of talks with T-Bone, the IGL from Foot Esports in the past, of him saying, as an IGL, as a newer IGL too, having never played that role in like the beginning of his career, he said the main thing for me is I know my guys can frag. Like they will shoot everything I tell them to, but I have to believe in my own calling. Yeah. You talked about second guessing earlier, how we like Pentagram and being able just to commit to decision. This is something Foot has been dealing with, saying we have all these great ideas, but because I'm hesitating, because I can't commit to one decision, we end up kind of choking ourselves. And now T-Bone, well, it seems like he's making those decisions fast, and that's what's been paying off for esports.
Well, we are headed up to the northwest for a little bit of well, actually it's a very empty circle right now. There's a lot of teams
the plane was far south.
It was very far south, so this one going a little bit farther north maybe than someone expects. So we'll see a little bit more rotation action going on here as we check in with Tanawat and Purple Mood. They, I think they already had a bunch of fans here already. I think they may have gained a few more in that last game here, at least in studio.
Definitely. Definitely, they had a good final stand there in the previous one. 4 AM here as well. We know as a team who, regardless of the playing path, will do absolutely everything. It's like a Miramar game doesn't start for 4 AM before they cross past Hacienda. No matter how far away from Hacienda these planes are, they will get there. And Bobo, well, he's not only going to get to Hacienda, he's going to continue even further north.
And that's the thing. The other thing about it is, like, I think I told you this yesterday. I hate that loot spot. Like I absolutely hate Hacienda as a loot spot, just because you're surrounded pretty much on all sides by other other really good loot spots that you know all good teams are going to be looting at. So it just feels like, I don't know. It feels like your rotation paths out of that spot are always a little bit more dicey, a little bit more dangerous. But again, it's a great spot in terms of where it is on the map.
I was going to say, and in this particular case, with the plane being as far south and 4 AM pretty much knowing they're the most northern team, it's going to play in even better for them. I think they're going to be set very solid here. They have easy access to the center of the circle, which is a place we know they like to get to. The issue is, for the first 4 games, they haven't been able to find the entrance they were looking for to get to the center of the circle. So 4AM might just be able to find that. Howl, same thing for them. Want to go center a little later into the game, but they're getting kind of caught in all these edge team rotations. And hopefully this time around, they'll have a little bit of an easier access to that northern side of the circle.
Well, if nothing else, they are staying together on this rotation. So if anything should come up and surprise them, anything maybe try to bite them while they make their way through, they'll be able to turn their full attention over towards it. Meanwhile, LG at a very 2-2 split here. They've sent 2 off very early, left 2 down behind. So you can see that they're actually getting a little bit close here. It looks like Mime and Snakers will pull things off. But we are going to take a quick second here to look at Twisted Minds and see how they got here.
Now Tingleton will find a Snaker's grenade as well. He knows exactly where they are. Does he see Penta? Yeah. He does. He doesn't take the shot. There it is. Okay, he gets the knock. Now Penta's down. Adam's down. SDK is falling apart before our very eyes.
It's all complicated. Means that now there's some breathing room around the outside of it. Luminosity Gaming, those spot.
Well, that wasn't Twisted Minds, but it's okay.
They were in the pit, though, kind of.
I heard my voice, and I was like, "What's going on here?" It's but yeah, it's okay. It's.
I thought I got a more manly voice there for a second. It's like, oh wait, it's Poro.
You get a little southern twang in your Danish there.
But, I'm still practicing my y'all.
Yeah.
It doesn't come natural to me. Maybe over this tournament, I'll get it in there every now and again.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there. We'll keep working on it. But there you go. You see Batu with the boys. Very, very split in the center of this zone, but not a position that they are unused to or uncomfortable. Oh my goodness, Ruin just got absolutely picked off by Zest from the high ground.
Again, you gotta come in ready, you gotta come in warm, and that is something Genius seemingly have finally got themselves dialed in on. We saw it from Vart, the previous Vikendi match, how he was just beaming people with the Mini 14, and now, well, Zest can do it with the MK as well.
Do they get this res, do you think?
Doubt.
You gonna doubt? Extra
Especially
doubt?
considering he's already dead, so.
Is he?
Yeah.
How'd they pick him off? He was shooting at his toesies. He still had full health.
And then he got headshotted and died.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he won't get res then.
I mean, if that happens, that's... I did not know he had blue zone blue chips in competitive.
There's a lot of things you don't know, Toby.
And that is true. I will gladly admit that. Yep, that is...
Although I think that this might not be one of them. Well, Purple Mood stopping in at the Church of St. Los, as we call it in the Americas. I don't know what you guys call it. It kind of irritates me now that I have to admit the fact that we name a church after one of our most beloved North American players from the past, and he just happens to be from Europe. That just kind of hurts my soul in a way. But you know what? I love Los HD so much that I don't even care. Meanwhile, we check in with LG 2-2 split. Farthest northmost team here, although 4 AM getting a little bit close as Foot making their wrap around.
Yeah, trying to make their way up towards the north. They like to enter these circles from the northern side of the of it, and it makes perfect sense for them to just wide rep on this. Again, Foot, a team like question mark like 4AM who just wants to get in the quiet side of the circle. Make space for yourself, play that edge to the full of its ability, and they know, as with everyone else, it was a southern plane into a northern circle. No one's coming in from La Coparilla. No one's coming in from Oasis. Get on up.
Yeah,
and also, we don't need Mirados. We can just drive the coupe, and that's fine. That's why they flipped it, so no one could steal it. Smart play, Foot.
5-head stuff.
Exactly.
5-head stuff. Well, Vard now on the SLR after hitting some of the most disgusting mini 14 headshots that I've seen in quite some time. We'll see if he can find a little bit of the same success there with the SLR as Yuta is looking around as well. Just question mark on the very, very south side, taking their time rotating in. But for the most part, been a very calm, cool, and collected early game.
Yeah. Again, Miramar is going to be, I would imagine, the vast majority of this lobby's favorite map in terms of being allowed to play the style that you kind of came in wanting to play. We still don't have, even though we have teams that are kind of known for going center aggressive early on, we don't really have anyone who's claimed that role within this lobby. Yet everyone, if possible, are trying to stick up to the edges for the most part, which is why losers and winners is going to be so much fun. Because even though it's the same teams, you can expect to see a lot of these teams be forced to place very different play styles than what they're doing here in the group stages. It's always so interesting seeing how fast teams have to adapt going from bracket to bracket.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what the general consensus is these days in EMEA, but I know that in the Americas at least, Miramar is far and away the favorite map of the players, and they are huge fans, big fans of any time that we get to play on it. So that's with or without Sandstorms.
Also, big fan of the changes that they made. Chalk stop, amazing. Water treatment that we're seeing here, amazing. I think water treatment slipped a lot of people's kind of eyes in that, wait, water treatment got changed, but yes, it did. Also phenomenal changes. Just accessibility to rotations across the map have been phenomenal. The changes that have come through, really, really like them. There are sure areas still that I think could maybe use a little touch-up, but overall, I think all the changes that we've seen on Miramar have been for the better, which is why I just love seeing the kind of the evolution of these maps.
And emergency pickups too. That's I feel like e-pickups have just opened up a whole new way of playing this map as well. So haven't seen any so far today.
Oh, it's been quiet on that front.
It has been quite quiet on the e-pickup front. Everybody really just opting for vehicle rotations both days, really, Group A and Group B. So maybe now that we get one day under the waist for both groups, maybe we see a little bit more willingness to do risky things tomorrow and the following day.
We might just, let's see that circle. It's going to swing down south. I guess Twisted Minds are going to be happy they left Spiro down by Power Grid, because now they can go down south, go back to the tried and tested Power Grid where they've been time and time again, and play out from there regardless of where this next circle is going to take us after Phase 2 is over.
A warm, comfy blanket.
Essentially,
yeah. As looks like they'll be able to, they're going to be able to regroup there pretty easily as well. I think the only pressure they may receive or have received was from Gen G, but they're in a 2-2 split, so it wasn't going to be that much pressure either way Meanwhile, question mark, remember they were taking their sweet, sweet time coming up from the south side. We've got a couple over at Bricks, but they're still stretching their tendrils out, seeing how far they can get in.
And Foot now being with one of the most southern teams when they landed, and now the most northern one is figuring, well, are we really back to the we don't get any circles situation now? I know we got 9 in one game, but can we please just spread it out maybe a little more across the different games? Because now, well, I mean, they do like playing on the edge, and this time around it's going to be no different.
Look, you know, sometimes you just catch your blessings all at once, and you just have to deal and be thankful regardless.
True.
Laza looks like they are going to be able to get that revive off, and yep, Schofield just spotting out the enemies on the hills. Meanwhile, 4 a.m., there's your send, and there's our E pickup as well, just off in the distance there with LG.
Flying shoulder to shoulder as much as can be. 4 a.m., they get, Xiaopian gets forced out of the vehicle, and forced to, but jumps out because of the tree, and now spotting LG mid-air. This might just be a blessing that he hit that tree with the vehicle, because LG are going to be dodging and weaving, trying to get down on the ground, but 4 a.m. might just want to pull up on this. They know that they're going to have LG with literally no cover to work with, given that they could not have brought any vehicles in here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map, looking to see if 4 a.m.'s really creeping over in this direction. It doesn't look like they are. They're looking over here for sure, but other than that, just content with holding their ground. Sixel also, of course, I say it, that nobody's using the E-pickups, and now all of a sudden everybody's using the E-pickups.
Miramar is very emergency pickup friendly, so I guess we were just waiting for Miramar to come around, and then when we have circles that shift down into a plateau, it's kind of taken for granted. Or maybe it is just teams learning now that, wait, everyone is playing edge here. Let's actually start playing center.
Okay, and looks like Snakers, yep, Flood will get revived as well, so LG back up to full strength. Sixel dropping right on top as well. This must have been the spot that everybody was looking for. Twisted Mind's going to open up on them in the, CC 108 finding HSM from a distance. New Happy from the compound actually finds an angle, and that's going to save Shengyi Xinlong. They'll be able to keep all 4 up and immediately turn their attention over to 4 a.m.
Everyone thinking they're 900 IQing this rotation, and in the end they're just all living on top of one another. Batulin's peak sounds over, finds MML. Will he get more of it? Nope, only a couple of bullets in return, as Xiaoyi Xinlong is able to get one of their players back on their feet, or at least should be able. So let's see where phase 3 takes us. We are going, well, up towards the northeast, I think. We got unplayable terrain towards PMA. We got unplayable down where New Happy is set. This one could swing all the way up in the direction of Foot, but should center further south.
Oh, through the, okay, through the sandstorm. The knock comes through. Lorena should get revived here, but I mean, you can see this is just not a great situation for Sixel to be in here, and LG started to turn things up here. Mime going to get spotted out by HSM, but as you said, everybody had this kind of 4 or 5 hit idea of dropping right on the same spot, and unfortunately, everybody had that same idea, so now they're all on top of each other, and it's not getting any better, Toby, because now E36 moving in, QM moving in, Purple Mood just kind of hanging out on the edge of the zone as well as just everybody going for the exact same spot. It's all on the south side of this road.
These are some of all the teams that we expected to come in playing center heavy, and now they finally decide to do it. Issue is they're doing it at the same game at the same time, and it's causing a lot of chaos. Lorena able to find a double, and now Enter Force 36 loses 3 in an instant. Just K left alive. Solid hold here from Luminosity. That nade did make its way on in, but nothing more will come of it.
Oh, I hope we get to see the Lorena mortar, because that took out 2 of them. That was absolutely filthy. And E36, they just were late to the. They were super late to the party, and unfortunately for them, it's down to just Key. He will try to survive just a little bit longer. He's got a full compound, just off to the side there.
Can you run there though?
I mean, honestly, it's who's looking.
Yeah, I mean, right now, no one's on the hillside. You had PMA up on the kind of the Batulin's mountain, should we call it, as he was the first one kind of famed for sitting up there. But no one's in that position anymore, so might just be able to creep around. But then again, why in the world would XKE1, or just K, expect that compound to be free for the taking?
Oh, the Mad will go down to Mime as LG, they've taken a few knocks over here, but they've managed to get the revive every single time. Not out of the woods just yet, as they're starting to creep a little bit farther over towards the east, see if they can maybe better their situation a little bit. But as you see, I mean, Gen G, LF, Legacy off to the north, they all have angles onto this.
I mean, they're all looking great right now. The circle, again, should shift towards the east. We have unplayable terrain on the southern side. We have some towards the west. There might be a world where it kind of centers up right on top of question mark, but that would be a 1 in a million chance that we get that exact circle generated. So most likely, it's going to go somewhere towards the northeast, and that's going to be good for all those teams that did commit in, because it's only 4 AM that brought vehicles. Everyone else is playing on foot, no cover to work around. They would really want it there. Let's see. We do get the highlight or the replay. Shenyi Xinglong, Lorena able to get the Mauler in the air, and kaboom.
Boop, right on top of the Gold Mirado. Jeez. That's a little bit of a target, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, we see 17 still on this southeastern side. They've got places to be, but Twisted Minds is beautifully spread out right now in power grid, waiting for anybody to try to make an entrance. It doesn't look like 17 wants any of it, really. They're just going to continue to wrap down on the south side. 4 AM, meanwhile, still holding their little ridge, their own little spot that they have loved to be in. Now you can see Legacy making their way over, PMA make their way over. They're going to spot out Key. That's going to be it for Enter Force 36.
Nate's locked on forward now, though, as they put it on forward. But here's Glorious, the 2x Nations Cup player, able to take out both Mart and T-Bone. They had 2 knocks. They thought that was going to be easy peasy for them. But Glorious is there, puts a foot in the door, says no entry on my territory. And that's going to be 3 of them now back on their feet because of it.
Oh, but Beamy, he's got that arm again. He's making things dangerous here for Genius, as they're just going to opt to try to send it in and see if they can get away with it. Looks like they'll take a few shots, but they're not going to take any knocks. So they will at least get 2 inside this next zone for now. Let's see if Zest can make his way over here and join them here eventually.
Hopefully no one has mortars, is all I'm going to say to this position.
Well.
And, well, we're seeing Beamy on the northern side with an arm in hand. We'll see if he can make use of that, as now the remaining 2 players of Foot Esports also forced to make a play on forward. PMA, they claimed the position of Offensive Force 36 just before, and now making the play up towards Luminosity.
Yeah, PMA going to wish they had those grenades back. They had Luminosity pretty much dead to rights if they could just land those inside the shack, and they bounced off harmlessly. So in the end, nothing comes of it. Is now Pentagram trying to see if they can push forward and take care of the rest of Foot. AC and Beamy meanwhile working the ridge lines beautifully here.
So difficult to make space here. They're not inside the circle yet either. They have to try and sweep on it. HC usually is the one to try and make these flank plays. But now Wicked out in the blue. It's going to be spotted with his back turned. Good thing for them is that Hikari is there to return the favor.
Yeah, HC almost gets away with it too. Hikari, though, with the good eyes, spots him out in the blue. Adder getting pulled away. The ambulance is on its way. Beamy will try to spray it down, but it's not going to end up making a difference. Adder will get finished off, though. He won't be able to get revived, as Hikari now spotting out Twisted. And they are just holding the line here. They are just waiting for the inevitable breach.
Again, I mean, Twisted Minds, they're playing a 3-1 split, very far north, but new to keep 1 in power grid. They know the value of this position, but this circle, hard swing west. We got the high ground in play down towards where Lorena is from Xiaoyi Xinlong. This is going to be a very interesting end-game area.
It certainly is. We've got a lot of going off on the north side. Almost a majority of our teams already in this circle. As you said, PO and the rest of Gen G, they've got a long way to go. As they've got DG98 kind of covering things from the north side of the street. Pentagram already hopping in vehicles, but they're going to head right into Sixel. Sixel ready and waiting for it. They'll find 1, they'll find 2, and that's Pentagram eliminated.
Nice plays by Zeus coming out there again. The Enigma player with little to no info to be found online. We're trying to get his IGL back on his feet, but not going to happen. Lassa peeks on over, able to take down Boldyang.
Okay, Sixel down to 2. You see they had their little mortar station all set up and ready to go. We'll lay a few smokes down. I think that's just to secure his own escape. Snaker's going to pick up a P90 from that great. LG does lose Mime in the process. They still have 3 strong, however, and they are just trying to gatekeep whatever they can on this north side, see if they can maybe stop Gen G from coming in. Gen G very split, despite the fact that they have 4 up.
I mean, that's the Gen G way. Take control of as much terrain as you possibly can, even if it's not inside the next circle. Just spread out. And, well, the wider position we maintain control of, the bigger the chance that one of our players spots an entry to the next circle. And that's kind of been the Gen G perils on a necklace sort of splitting that we've seen time and time again. The further apart, the better off they are.
Well, hopefully one of them's been able to see something, because there is just not a whole lot of entryway to be found here on this north side. PMA, very wide split. Now Twisted starting to leave their compound in power by the power grid. They've got Laza right behind him, the snake in the grass. They need to be very, very careful here as Lou getting close. They spot him.
Perfect timing at that too. Very fortunate Lou is able to turn around just before the shots come through. A little bit of a shadow advantage there for him. He's able to get the P-Gon in, able to take him out and stay alive. Uh-oh. 3 in a car. I don't like this.
3 in 1 car, and DG98 in the coupe. Where is he trying to send it to? Snakers take a few shots in him. PMA will as well.
Here?
And they've got a little bit of a ridge line to work with, as Esther's going to go down. The smoke's going to lay down as well. See if they can maybe hold PMA off for the time being. If they can get a knock onto that, that would be even better. But now the grenades are coming in from the north side. That's going to be 4 a.m. And LG. Snakers will find the flush onto Esther, as it is just not great stuff here for Gen G. Sungyoung will find one, but Snakers lights up the entire squad. Gets a full wipe onto PMA, and now Gen G trying to turn their attention over to LG.
Yep, Snakers living up to his name, trying to find them from behind, those successfully that too, but PO instantly there to respond. All of Luminosity eliminated just short of placement points. Now Circle shifted down towards New Happy on the southern side. I said we were due for a Chinese win. New Happy sat dead center, 17 gaming out east. This looks very Chinese to me.
Yeah, New Happy looking very, very comfy. You got Purple Mood on the south side as well, still 4 strong. They're not having to get involved in any of this craziness on the north side. Twisted trying to see if they can just pick off any points over this before eventually making their way in. 4 a.m. looking pretty good as well. Gen G and Legacy, this will have to come to a head. It's going to have to be quick, though, because they have the blue creeping right on their backs, and the LFP is ready. He'll find 1. He'll find 2. There's 1 more to be found, but he's hiding in the smokes.
Don't get
there
greedy
it
for
is,
the flush.
LFP.
Doesn't need to go for it either. Solid shots coming through. Great push up there. Only needed 1. There was 1 there to cover, but RBN wasn't needed in the end of it. Solid plays coming through, but their journey to the next circle is far from over. Now they get to pick their poison. Do you take the fight to Twisted Minds or question mark? You know that the team that you don't fight, it's going to third-party you immediately after.
QM coming over here to see if they can find something. Batulins will get the knock and the flush on his grenade over towards 4 a.m. Question mark. Just looking to see what they can find off of Legacy. Twisted Minds doing the same thing. They're actually being a little bit pushed around here by 17. Few shots coming from them will force them to back down a little bit. Now Legacy will be able to get back into their vehicles, get back on the move, and try to find their way into the zone.
Doozy creeping on up, trying to again get a gist of what's happening in front of the man. Haven't really played this far south yet, but here comes the pull of Twisted Minds. Full speed forward, but access denied. Legacy able to stay alive. Kasira for now is the only one on his feet, but he should be able to get at least 1 over this. Potentially, RBN will get up 2.
9 HP. 9 HP is all that was separating Gizera from losing that fight, and he clutches it out. Huge for Legacy. And he should actually be, it looks like he's going to be able to get both reses back. So Legacy back up to 3 strong, 17. Big wide split. Question mark are going to have to try to send it in. They're backfilling at 4 a.m. And they are going to find 4 a.m. as well. And they are now down as New Happy still hangs out inside their hard cover.
And everything that's happening here is being overlooked by Purple Mood. Solid 2-2 split they've currently got going. That's why you're hearing the crowd going wild in the audience. They are loving the fact that Thunders and Fluggy are set up on the hillside high and just finding flush after flush as best as they can.
Only 1 kill for Purple Mood so far, at least 1 secured. But you know that they have been farming damage. They've been sending shots down here. We'll see if this circle gives them any luck whatsoever. They're still going to have to play around New Happy, unfortunately. New Happy does get the res. They had a knock inside their compound. They do get him back up, so back up to full strength. But 17 on the east side, Purple Mood on the west, question mark and Legacy off to the north. It's not a set thing by any means here for New Happy.
RPN saying, you know what, I used to be the coach, you're the frag, I'll give you my P90, I take you all. It's fair trade.
I would give
fair
it to Gizera, honestly.
Gizera is on one right now.
Only because LFP has gone down, because LFP has been actually on one recently, and that guy has been just bananas. But Gizera is an absolute beast. Give him the P90. Let's see if we can maybe open things up here a little bit for him.
They're getting closer and closer to this next circle. Not too far to go, but even a 50-meter push here can be fatal. You can see Purple Mood here, Dogmans and Thanawat down below, trying to make a little more space. But now with the hilltop being shifted out, all of Purple Mood opting to group up instead. I like this play. No reason to spread out wide. You know you have a team in the compound. You know you have 17 out east. Play up close. I would be surprised if they fully commit to push inside the compound proper, but stay down here on the southern side. You've made your way inside the circle. For now, that is mission accomplished.
Yeah, no shot that Purple Moon tries to push into this New Happy compound. They would like somebody else to try to do that so that they can be in a, they're right there to push in just in case that fight does eventually happen. Look at 17 though. They've left Lil Ghost on the south side. Meanwhile, they're wrapping around on the north to try to clean up what's left of Legacy.
Yep, shall be able to find one. Now the cavalry is being called in. You can see
he found the P90. That's a huge
the important one too, exactly. Smokes are being deployed though, so the rest should be possible. As I say that though, the circles are closing in, and now Nate's been lopped on over. RPN goes down. V8 set down to low HP. That blue zone Nate should at least get the bit of Gazera. We'll see if V8 set falls to it as well as this. Oh, it's all fading out for him now. It should be down hip. Yep, there you go.
Question mark actually going to be the one to pick up a couple there, so that's good for them. 3 kills in the bag for them so far. 3 up. Best of luck, Phil First and a doozy. You know, they have a lot of real estate to work around on this north side. If they could pick up a few more, if they could clean up maybe even 1 or 2 off of 17 here, that could be huge.
I'm liking the fact that we're seeing this 3-1 split from 17 Gaming. Usually back in China, it's almost always Xiao Wu that would hold that off angle, that would be the anchor player and let the other 3 push on forward. But they're opting to change things up here. Lil Ghost is the anchor player. He's the container on the southern side. He is the one to not allow for Purple Mood to wrap around to the east. And so far, he's successful. He peeked on over, took a few shots, fired in return, and forced Purple Mood in the other direction. Because right now, I think for 17 Gaming, they're more concerned with question mark up towards the north than they are with Purple Mood on the southern side.
Almost feels like if you know, you don't know what's coming, maybe that's Xiao Wu's job. But if you know for a fact you've got Purple Mood and you've got New Happy and you've got one guy that has to keep both of them at bay, let's make it Lil Ghost this time around.
Makes sense. Makes absolutely perfect sense. 17, they commit to the northern side this time around. Don't want to push into Purple Mood. They know that they have a somewhat wounded question mark on the other side, but 1 player down does not take them out of the equation at all. But this push up the hillside, it ain't far, but it's going to be very much out in the open.
That is about as equal odds across this board as you're going to get for the win there. A little bit of extra percentage going New Happy's way because of the compound, and a little bit less for QM because they're missing 1. But other than that, it's all even, baby. We're going to see what we can find here as 17 does bring Lil Ghost back up. They'll just play from the north here. New Happy still just holding on inside the compound, just waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of a knock.
Best of luck needs to find 1, preferably 2, in order to make some space here. Also, they have to be fast about it because New Happy could be peeking out at any given moment. These blue zone nades are there to, of course, do damage, but primarily there to isolate, to force them to reconsider the direction they've gone. And Xiao Bei is going to take a molly straight to his feet. That might get him knocked. No, it's going to come short.
Quick on the move there to make sure he didn't take that knock, because that might have been the beginning of the end for 17.
For sure.
As QM is just trying anything they can to try to get at least 1 knock to open things up here. But nothing doing so far. The final dot going to land right outside of New Happy's compound.
17 is taking their time here. They want to get the peek on over from behind, and it comes through. Dogmans is the ones who open it up, and just like that, question mark taken down. Lil Ghost swings around, finds the double. They have everything they needed. They just need a brief moment of, wait, what's happening behind us? They turn around, and they instantly find 2 with their backs turned. Great play from 17 Gaming.
Yeah, they actually forced it feels like they forced QM back into Purple Mood's territory as well.
Yeah.
Just to kind of open them up to some shots from behind. And now Fluky and Thunder's already down. Tanawatt down very, very low. But New Happy taking a lot of L's here as well. At 17 now, Suju will get knocked, but South Bay will find another one. New Happy will finish off Purple Moon, but they have been beaten down. It is only December 12th, and Ming Ming still alive. It looks like they're trying to go for the res here. Can they get it, though? Yet not back on his feet.
Not is back on his feet, indeed.
Oh,
December 12th peeks around the side. Fights Xiao Bei. Xiao Wu and Little Ghost, the only two players now on their feet. This should be easy peasy cleanup duty for December 12th. Get those points guaranteed, of course. That's what you want to go for now. This one is going to be a Chinese win guarantee, but Xiao Wu not spotted on the rooftops.
Xiao Wu immediately going for that up high spot, and he's not picked out in time. But there you go. He's going to get spotted from behind. CC 108 and Lil Ghost, you can see, trying to find each other in the compound. Lil Ghost will get the flush. CC back on the move. Wants to make sure he flushes out that kill as well. Make sure you get these points. They are so damn important at this point of the tournament. At all points in this tournament. December 12th has a shotty in hand. He's going to look for it. Doesn't get a chance to use it. CC and Lil Ghost now. I think it's a 1v1 totally for the win.
Sure is. 1 versus 1. 6 Bullet has to go for the reload. Spots and finds him 3 HP. Comes around the side, but it's not going to happen. New Happy. CC 108 able to bring home the win for New Happy. They had the compound, but they had to defend it. And here, while it looked against them, they came out victorious.
Absolutely huge from New Happy, and you got to imagine 17 is just got to be ripping their hair out about that one. But you know what? It felt like New Happy was always in control of that game. But 17, how on earth did they bring that down to a 1v1? That never should have happened.
I mean, it was pretty much as close as can be. And again, China showing that they are now warm. Chiamba was warm out of the gates yesterday, but these teams here, the more slow and cautious teams, they've had the warmth they needed now.
A lot of huge plays coming from a lot of big teams here, but as you said, at the end of the day, China does get a win here in the form of New Happy. So let's throw it over the desk to hear what they have to say about things.
New winner, New Happy gets the chicken dinner, and it came down to a 1v1, a nail biter at the bitter end. Martin, I mean, that was fun. We got to have a little bit of an urban fight. We got to have a lot of open season fight. Tons of strategy at the end of that game.
And I love the emergency pickups plays as well. Some early, some later, and then you have to kind of have these kind of scrappy fights. It was somewhat of a home turf circle for Twisted Minds. Then it went to West, and then they had to do scrappy fights as well. But yeah, super well played by the New Happy. 17 Gaming Purple. I gotta say, overall, all of them kind of had that opening chance, but instead of hurting them towards each other and kind of peacocking a little bit, it was just a full three-way fight. They took fights on all the sides there. So yeah, it's really cool to see, but Christian Mark was the loser of that top 4.
Yeah, I mean, right now, as we get to that top 4, you saw the amount of chaos that went into making the top 4. And it was almost like 2 sections of an end game. You had to survive that sort of Gen G luminosity mess that was going on. And you get to here, comes down to a 1v1. And I'm going to be completely honest, I was worried that New Happy had given 17 the chance to make it a 1v1 in the first place. That's the kind of thing that can really set a team back if they had managed to win it. But that reload, the push, it worked out. They got the victory. Congratulations to New Happy. My name's Toppies. I'm joined by Avenger here on the desk as we break down after the action. One more game left to play, but the 5 that we've done so far have been absolutely wild.
Yeah, been wild again. After what we saw yesterday, I was questioning, can this happen again? And yes, it has been. Had some good circles, some home turf, of course. A little bit here with Pentagram.
They let off the gas.
They get let off the gas. I'm a little bit happy for that. But then again, they also had 2 somewhat home turf circles.
True.
They are looting in the God carrier, right? And we had a somewhat of chopsticks ending, but an error risk. So it is close to where they're looting. So you can expect good games for them. They got the most out of it, but let the foot out of gas a little bit, and that kind of opens up a little bit in terms of our tubby.
They might be a bit of an Orangle specialist, perhaps. Whereas yesterday,
if the circles are with them.
Right. Well, yesterday, Tiamba just seemed to be specialized in everything that they did. So a little bit of a shift here today. I will say, I want to give a shout out again. Purple Moon Gaming, for the second time, has put themselves into this mix. They got to that end game. I thought there was a chance there for a moment when they were going to sort of push up against 17 after their fight. I think it was with Foot that it might work out, but it didn't quite happen for them. Let's take a look at the top 4 teams, however. Sorry, it was Legacy. New Happy, 11 kills, going to be feeling very good about that. 17 of that 14,000 damage, or 1,400 damage tells you just how much hustle they had to put in. A lot of utility used there. On the other hand, Purple Mood, 900 damage, 2 kills, and just a ton of smokes thrown down.
Yeah, CC 108, 6 kills coming in his way, and a clutch in the end there.
Yep.
That's a huge pat on the back for him. Definitely the man of the match for him. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, good to see overall here. They're able to hold strong, and once you have these kind of shanties in the top, they are somewhat hard to defend. They managed to defend it, managed to get out well here, and of course, as we said, CC with the 6 kills and the man of the match, 600 damage.
Yeah,
very nice.
You don't. Defense doesn't always mean sort of like putting the gates up and pouring the hot oil. Sometimes it means just making sure that everyone else fights themselves, and that's exactly what they did. They held ground. They forced 17, Legacy, PLM, QM to fight each other, and that's what sort of opened the door for them to come out with this win. There's the match leaderboard: 21 points for New Happy, 17 for 16, and Legacy putting up another good score with 9. They're going to be, now that they're up there, they're just going to be grinding out those average points per game to try to make it to the top 8. Now let's take a look at the overall leaderboard.
Nice, 57 of course here for Asla, but NHG Sports able to jump up to 46, 44. It's kind of getting even out here. Foot also 39, and then there's a little bit of a drop off, 9 down to 6. So still, if you're Howl right now, if you're PMA 6 and 9 points, still one good game, like a double-digit kills and a win. You're still able to kind of within that striking distance into the top 8. It is getting closer though. We have our mid-20s, our mid-pack is close, and with one good game from them, they can still jump into the top 5 quite easily.
Yeah, I would say at the end of yesterday, when we talk about Group A, everyone went home and it was still one good game gets you top 4 or 5 even. Here, there's a little more of a spread. There are teams where I think now if you are Howl or you're one of those teams on the bottom, you're thinking to yourself, I need to have a good last game. I need to set myself up so when I come to the 6 in 2 days, I'm not on this chase. You want to be next to that 8 cutoff going into the final day of play.
A little bit of a cutoff, of course, between Twisted Minds and GSG Sports. The 8 points there, but if Twisted Minds 22, this was a home turf circle. This was the kind of game for them that we wanted to see, the double digit, maybe even a win for it. But yeah, they didn't make it, and we have one more game to go.
We do have one more game. We saw some amazing plays in there. We saw the Panzerfaust by LFP. That was one of the best things I've ever seen. He pushed with the Panzerfaust onto Genji,
oh my God,
got the kill, and then just picked up a mini and went right back to battle. Legacy seems to be playing on all cylinders. I look forward to seeing what they can pull off on this one. Also, QM, the blue zone breaking distance. It was beautiful. One more game. Let's get into it. The final match of the day. It's time for Miramar.
Thank you very much, Toffees. And yes, we are ready for the final game of the day, Toby. Our last journey into Miramar for this first day of Group B play. And it is, as the desk has said, it's been a lot of teams all showing up. It's not one team just kind of sharking all the points like it is in Group A. It's making things a little bit more interesting here for the cut lines.
Sure is. Pentagram still sat in a good position up top, but will that remain to be after this game is over? I'm not quite sure, especially not with how well some of these teams are starting to get that hunt going. Put out early, of course, as we know that they would be up towards Impala. They'll probably fly, allow for Xiaoyi Shenlong to take Porto-Paraiso. And again, I mean, a group where, yes, there's been some early commotion, but not really any proper hot drops. And you know what? I like it, because hot drops are
dumb.
That's the word I was gonna use, but I was trying to see if I could find something more kind, and no, yeah, I agree with you.
Look, as an American,
we call a spade a spade.
Well, no, I'm just saying, as a fan of you know, North American PUBG, I hate hot drops. I've seen our good North American teams get caught up in hot drop situations way too many times now to ever want to see that happen again. So anything we can do to avoid them, I'm happy about. Say, Genius and Twisted Minds getting a little close to each other, but yeah, that's about as close as they're going to get is in the air. And our circle is going hard down to the south.
Imagine the first Patona ending of...
You want it?
PGC.
Let's get it.
You know, I mean, or do we save it for grand finals, or do we get it here and in grand finals? You know what? Regardless, I think it'd be fun.
Let's get it here.
Yeah, why not?
Why wait?
Why not?
Get it out of our system a little bit.
Or into
why
our
not
system.
both? Hey, yeah, exactly.
Yep. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. In the meantime, as teams get looted on up, this gives us a little more of a chance to break down some of these teams. And I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna let you Poro, is there any team, before we hop over to a highlight with Legacy, that you want to break down that you can then break down after the Team Legacy highlight?
Who do I want to break down?
Yeah. I'm giving you free reign.
I don't
Pick
know,
anyone.
man. Why you got to do this to me right now?
If there's anyone you wanted to talk about.
Oh, look, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll talk about Legacy. Because,
that's a good idea.
You know, we got highlights from them coming up, but look, that is a team that you look at them and you see 3/4, I think, if not 4/4 of well, it's 3/4 of PNC Team Brazil, and we've seen how exciting that team can be when they get a snowball rolling.
Oh yeah,
and obviously getting that win here today, that's the first step in a journey that's very, very long, right? But if we get to the point where we're in grand finals and Legacy makes it and they come in on the first day and they find themselves with just a big victory, that's the kind of team that just feasts off of that confidence. Like
100%.
I know we like I feel like we overuse the term confidence
no, but it's massive. There's a reason we overuse it.
Because of how it's important. Because if there's one thing that we can all be certain of, is that PUBG is a psychological game almost as much as it's a mechanical game, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to have your head in the right place to find success. And if there's one thing about Legacy and the guys on that team, man, they are so good at putting themselves in a good headspace. You never see those guys tilted. You never see them mad. You never see them yelling at each other. They are always having the best damn time of their lives. And it's even easier to have a great time when you're mechanically cracked and you have a little bit of a snowball going for yourself, and you can build off of that.
Which leads back to what we said about them earlier in this tournament, or earlier today, I should say, that we wanted to see them go more aggressive. We wanted to see them play with that confidence, and funnily enough, as soon as they do, hey, they get themselves a win on Tego. You know what I mean? Just keep it going. We're all smiles. I'll gladly wave the Brazilian banner if that means that we'll see these boys out there fragging.
Here's another team that, you know, it's been a slow start.
I don't mind this start being slow.
I'm fine with their start. It's just from previous tournaments, their group stage has been when they put on the most fireworks.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously it's not a concern to me at all. Like right now it's top 8, right? That's all you need to do. And plus it's only been one day. But it's a little bit slower of a start than I've gotten used to seeing from Legacy, or from Luminosity. So maybe I'm just a little bit disappointed.
Okay. I see that. I can see how you had hoped for. I mean, with the pedigree of the roster, that also, as you said, knowing how well they have played into group stages before, that they would want to.
And they were so damn good in PAS2 too.
Yeah.
Like they were fragging out. And again, it's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's just we're just not seeing the exciting, you know, the stuff that we kind of got used to seeing.
And that's what you just said there, I think, is the kind of hitting the nail on the head, is that they're not really doing anything wrong. Right now, they're up against fierce competition. Not saying they ain't part of that competition themselves,
because
they are
5 games.
Definitely up there. But we're not seeing them make massive mistakes that, oh no, why would you ever do something like that? We're seeing Luminosity that just has yet to have those. I mean, again, a game of PUBG, it's all about skill, no doubt, but sometimes you just need that little sprinkle of things going your way that is out of your hands to get things going. It doesn't have to be catching 9 circles. It can be, oh wait, these two teams just started fighting right in front of us when we were in a perfect position to engage. Couldn't have asked for anything more. That one thing alone can be your 15-kill win in the making. And while LG might not have had that yet, having seen what they have done that hasn't been with that given, I have all kinds of confidence in Luminosity being able to go out and whenever they get that opportunity, instantly take it.
100%, man. It's sometimes the game just lays itself out in front of you, and we'll see what they can do, if anything will lay itself out in front of them right now. But we promised you some Legacy highlights, so we're gonna get them now.
Players, nice outside defense, and
oh my! Promise, here's one right for you, Poro.
There it is. Gizero find a quick knock on a Finna. Cowboy.
They're just kind of off to the east in the center of the circle in a nice position. What a spray from BHC.
Aliens still have a couple members to work with, but stepping on top of that.
Yeah, got to hear myself again.
You talked about Gesera. You said that he had it in him, and
He's
well,
cracked,
we saw
man.
it right there.
The kid's absolutely cracked. And to be honest, when he first came onto the scene, his first event after he hit 18, he just lit the entire lobby on fire. And then we've been kind of chasing that high ever since, really, because he's done really, really well in other tournaments, and he's consistently a fantastic player, but he's never really reached the high of that intro, and that's not his fault. That's more on us for expecting that. But man, that first tournament for him was just absolutely bananas.
Now, for those of you viewers out there who, while watching this tournament, don't have the map feed open, I say nay. Get the map feed open as well. Do exclamation mark map, and you will see where it is. As Spiro takes out Pio, because Pio does Pio things. It was a little, I don't want to say isolated, because he did actually have TG98 with him, but they ran into a Twisted Minds trap in Chumacera. And get the map open, because there's a crate on Patona, and who knows, maybe that crate is going to predict these circles. That's all I wanted to say.
Bringing it back.
Then Spiro interrupted me with shooting opponents.
We're bringing it back to crates predicting where the next circle's going to go.
I'm just saying, Batulins takes Pio again.
I believe it. I'm a believer. Yep, but Batulins gets the re-knock, and yet this is just constantly cycling the knock on poor Pio. And now Songyong going to try to come down the hill.
Push.
Perfectix gets a nice spray on him, but doesn't get the knock. Has to pull back because the rest of the boys aren't really in position for that Songyong crash. And now Spiro just holding angles, and yep, this is just Twisted Minds waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Again, I mean, very, very cautious. I even caught myself there saying push, but then again, they have a guy on the hillside still. They don't have all the info. They need to make a play where they don't lose players. Oh, Batulins almost had a perfect off angle there, but didn't quite get it. Pio will be taken down. Second time he gets knocked, so no one on the roof there to res him. That will be the first blood of the game going his way.
Over to Batu. Love to see it. Well, let's see if Gen G can figure out a way to get themselves out of this one. This is kind of a mess here. They aren't exactly in great position. DG98 might be the one to crack things open here. And actually, Esther coming up from the side with the big flanker. Is that Esther running away? That might be Esther just running away for security purposes at this point.
I think he's just trying to reposition, trying to get into, I mean, he was kind of down in that valley. He had his vehicle there, and I think there's a fear of being shot in the back, which makes perfect sense because we still have the likes of Question Mark and Genius out there making their way on in. And again, I mean,
if he's repositioned to the other side of Chumacera.
These are the two worst teams to have in a situation like this because neither of them are in a hurry to get to the circles. They're like, you know, we'll stall here for a while. Circle even goes over towards him, so they are in no way a hurry. Now the question becomes, with the circle having just shifted over here, who wants it more? Who wants the space? Who wants to be able to utilize it for future gains? Well, Luminosity up here, they're hearing the shots, and they want a piece of the pie.
And Batu needs to watch his back here because Snakers certainly is. Here comes the push. DG98 with that DBS in hand, wishing a sucker would come through that door or peek that window, but Twisted Minds not giving him the satisfaction right now. So Gen G able to hold things off for the time being. He will not get clipped by the molly. That's good footwork on the part of DG.
I feel like they hear that and they just back off. They heard the
like,
DBS.
Okay, DB,
nope, I'm leaving. Lou and Spiro instantly run out of the building. I love it. I love it.
That is the smart call.
Like we're not getting any of this. Not at all. Oh, I love it. You can just tell them it's like, yeah, you know what? That's us leaving. Issue is, can they leave? 17 is up here now. Luminosity is up here now. Teams that really love third-party opportunities. We talked about it. Luminosity waiting for the perfect chance. This might just be it. And now Gen G's Esther from afar. It took him a while to flank. Now finally, the flank has come around.
There you go. Batu going to get Esther knocked and flushed. Spiro down inside the smoke. The blue zone grenade will get him low, but it's not going to be enough to finish him off. As DG still holding the line with that big bad shotty in hand. Spiro looks like the res will come out. Batu doing a good job of kind of protecting his man here, as now the you can see on the mini map the emergency parachute drop from New Happy coming in. They're laying right on top of LG, but we'll see what 17 decides to do about this fight now that they heard all these shots going off.
With Esther falling as well, they got the kill early on PO2 there in a 4v2. While you don't want to push the building, now is where you surround. Now is where you get into position from where we know exactly which room they're in, not just what part of the like what floor on the building. That we know exactly where we have them, and that's when you use 1 or 2 nades, maybe a molly, a blue zone nade, whatever, to take him out. You don't want to push that DPS up close. Just clear him out with utility. That is, if you have any to use.
Yep. Meanwhile, Gen G just waiting for Twisted Minds to make a mistake. Oh, what a grenade! And DG98 just happened to be running by at the worst possible time. Spiro will finish him off, and now it's down to just Songyang as he is outside. We'll see how long it takes Twisted Minds to pin him down. I don't think they have any idea where he might have been.
And this is just picture perfect engaging. I mean, as soon as they hear the DPS, they back off. Of course, I mean, that's the main threat, right? Is give them time and they will do these things to you. Twisted Minds playing very, very wise PUBG right now, not taking any risks at all. As I say that, the trade isn't there. The prone is there.
Oh my God.
Songyang able to get the double despite Lu going for the drop shot, but Patulins peeks around the corner, able to get the kill in return, and maybe that 17 Gaming pushing forward.
Oh. He was 1 shot away, and he's going to get rezzed. Oh, my goodness. Perfectix in the perfect spot at the perfect time as Lil Ghost just takes a few more shots over there in aggravation that he couldn't get that flush. But good stuff from Twisted Minds, although, man, Songyang had him sweating there for a little bit there at the end.
Solid sprays coming through even when they fall. Songyang will put up a fight, but that's going to be Gen G out as the first team here in this one. No one else taking casualties thus far as we hit the 14-minute mark in just a second's time. Howl trying to wrap around again. Hard southern shift on this one all the way down to the southern coast. We didn't go quite down to Partona, but close enough for my liking. We'll see now if Xiao Yixin Long can make use of the high ground control that they have claimed.
Question mark. Making their way down that coastal road. It's a lot of actually 4 a.m. and PMA trying to make their way out of Idamar.
Yeah.
They might get a little bit close to each other. Xiao Bei going to get spotted out by VHZ. So from Legacy, good eyes as 17 try to send it. They end up losing 1 in the process here. Is now 17 getting very, very close to Pentagram's compound. But it looks like they're planning to just breeze through.
Again, I mean, they're hearing all this commotion up north. They're hearing the shots potentially. I mean, maybe not 17, but many teams aware that everyone is taking their time waiting for the perfect opportunity. And, well, you know what? Going in early might just be that perfect opportunity. 17 Gaming might not have the best position, might not have gotten in with all 4 alive, but them 3 set dead center right now, that could just be placement points guaranteed.
A lot of real estate still kind of available here. I don't know how great it is, but you can see so many of these teams just clustered up, trying to stay together. Looks like 17 took another knock, but that should be rezzed here shortly. Howl, meanwhile, there's Hal. They are, okay, there we go. Got them a little bit confused. So many gray teams on the map right now, but yep, Foot doing a little bit of gatekeeping
Pete is stuck
for them.
Pete is mega stuck behind that vehicle, I'm afraid.
No.
And I think HSMM has realized that he saw the car. I would love to get his view. He just ran past him too. I'm not sure if he's actually aware of exactly where he is. Crazy peeks on over, finds Teddy. That is going to be him flushed as well. I think HSMM might have missed Pete. I mean, he is pretty much inside a vehicle that's vertical, so it makes sense that it wouldn't be optimal that there's a player there. Kit falls. It's actually going to be to the hands of Phil first. When you imagine that the flush is going to go, yes, indeed it will, the way of Crazy.
Okay. Phil first, making that a little bit less, more anticlimactic than I thought it was there at first. That was a hell of a spray, but Phil first doing some work over here on the PMA. Last one alive there, dancing through the streets. Is Tian. He spot out the toesies underneath.
One shot.
And that'll do it. Good shooting.
There you go. Solid shot coming through. As first one full circle's going to pop. Up north we go. And there he is, Pete, jumping on down. Finding the in-game leader for 4 a.m. when they needed things going their way. It wasn't meant to be. As one does get taken down. And the IGL at that too.
He is Pete. And don't you forget it.
Can't deny it.
At 4 a.m. now. Trying to track him down, take care of him. The old Batman right down on top of him will be crazy. And that'll be PMA eliminated in 15th place. A little bit of a slow start for them, or tournament here. But plenty of time to turn things around.
And now our eyes have to go north. Luminosity, New Heavy, Twisted Minds, and Genius are all trying to get out of what has been a complete traffic jams of teams up on that hillside. Luminosity is going to be the first ones to try and make a move, but they're going straight in between both Enterforce and Pentagram. Now, nice movement for them. Issue is Snakers will fall again. I mean, even if you make it here with 3, you have to kind of count your blessings and go, you know what? Kind of worth. We at least got out of what would have been a death sentence in the north.
Had to be Snakers, didn't it?
Everyone's fantasy team's in shambles.
Yep. Well, I don't care about everyone's. I care about mine, and now mine's in shambles. But the Mad will help contribute to taking out what's left of Foot Esports, as they will be our 3rd team going down. Not a bad damn day for Foot to start things off here. 39 points, 5th place overall, and a nice win.
And really impressive, actually, by how, when you think of how they were the ones on the outside fighting into Foot Esports. I didn't see exactly how it went down with Xiaoli Shenlong probably playing a bit of a part in that fight, but impressive that it's Howl that come out on top, considering how much of an advantage Foot initially had in that fight against them.
Well, yeah, I mean, by all appearances, yeah, it looked like Foot had all the good angles on him. It looked like Howl had to fight their way through the Foot blockade. But not only do they do so with keeping 4 alive. So very well played by them. We'll see what they do from this southeastern side of the circle. They've got Purple Mood off to the north. CC 108 just has them all dead to rights. Spiro going to try to do a little bit of damage in the back, but December 12th will be right there. And just like that, Twisted Minds is sent back to the lobby.
Absolutely slaughtered on approach. New Happy able to stay alive. They will get Ming Ming, I think, up on the shoulders of one of the players trying to run him inside the circle. Or at least he himself is going to have to make a run for it now, because Phase 4 hurts like hell. Hopefully there's either a jammer pack or something to work with. If not, then Ming Ming should be falling momentarily.
He's got places to be. Well, they've got Purple Mood on the screen right now, which means the fans are going bananas. And Hal has him spotted out from range. Ooh, just manages to stay alive. The spray coming through. The Mad will be the one that does it, but Ruin gets knocked low by Tanawat. Needs to be careful he doesn't go down to the blue here. It's not, fortunately enough for him, not ticking too terribly bad just yet. And it's actually going to force Howl to pull back away. So maybe Purple Mood might get an opportunity to reset off of this. Really relying on Thunders to hit some shots with that drag, though.
Exactly. Everyone trying to make their way further towards what is this new circle up towards the north. But here comes Xiaoyi Shenlong pushing from behind. Many teams now on these edges in chaotic fights up close. Howl trying to take the fight to them, trying to respond to the push that came through. Boliang ain't there. Now Purple Mood too. It's going to start creeping their way ever so much closer.
And Hal's still spotting out Thunders. Thunders doing so much work here as a solo for this team. The rest of the squad has managed to get back on their feet and healed up, and now they're getting involved, taking the fight right to Howl, who is already getting backstabbed by Sixel. Things just falling apart for Howl here.
Nowhere for them to go here. Maybe get a consolidation point, but not going to happen. Flugy over the top finds 2. MML will find the last, and that is going to be Howl out in 11th. Now they do have Xiaoyi Shenlong down, really wounded. Only 1 player alive so far, but I don't think Purple Mood, either they don't want to aggress it, considering the fact that they kind of already have entry to the circle, or they aren't aware of exactly how bad of a state Xiaoyi Shenlong actually is in. Had they been, then I'm sure they would have made a play here.
Regardless of whether or not they push into Sixel or not, they still have a lot of room there on that eastern side of the zone to just kind of play things a little bit slower and steady. As you see Surti get picked out by Rello and stolen away from Phil First. Phil First is, oh no. Lil Ghost said, shut the door. You're not getting in there, boss. It is a point in my pocket. 17, 3 up, 4 kills. Looking good.
And that's again, I mean, 17, they left early. They said, we're not a sender team, but you know what? Screw it. They lose 1 on approach, but now they get to reap the rewards. They're 1 team away to placement points. They're sat dead center in this circle with plenty of control, plenty of space around them, and they were the first ones here too. So they should be well aware of pretty much exactly where they have all their opponents.
I'll tell you what, man, if I had to put my bet on who's going to win this game right now, I feel like I would put it on LG for no other reason than the fact that they don't have Snakers, and if they win, I'm not going to get a single solitary damn point from them. So that would be my luck in a nutshell.
I mean, that's reason enough. You also don't have Xiao Bei, and 17 is in the middle, but I have Xiao Wu alive, so let's go with 17 instead.
Come on, you're killing me here, brother. All right, well, 17 in a great position, LG in a great position as well, but they've got a lot of work to do. E36 on the north side, 4 strong. Pentagram in a compound as well, but they're going to eventually have to leave that. Purple Mood's been looking real feisty as well. 4 kills for them.
Again, we're phase 5 with 27 alive.
Yep.
Things got chaotic once we hit that phase 3 Southern Hard shift, and that's why there's now that much more space to maneuver. Teams were eliminated by the masses just moments ago, and now, well,
give 'em a
send the
donut.
circle to follow. A 17 now from the hill up high has to try and prevent any team from getting too close.
All right, Purple Mood already sending Duckmans in a little bit low. Took a few shots over from Pentagram. I'm actually interested to see if Pentagram leaves this compound, and if they do decide to leave that compound, where they decide to send it to, because the longer they stay there, look at that open field around. They've got places to be. Luminosity will get close to question mark here. Shots come through, they do some damage, but it's going to be 17 that gets the credit for it, as Dante will go down. Phil first, and best of luck, at least get to the cliffside.
I mean, question mark getting a lot of help from Mentaforce 36 right now, really just suppressing them up high. You can see Little Ghost was peeking on over, trying to do more damage, trying to get the flush as well, but denied. Now the nade does do the damage for him. Issue is Phil first lops one in return. I'm not sure, though, how much more question mark can get off it. I don't think they can really make an aggressive play on forward. As I say that, though, the flush does come through.
That man found the first one. He said I could put it right there in the second spot as well. His question mark there, oh man, they're waiting for the inevitable push here from LG, but LG being very slow about it. They know they're down to 3. They don't want to take a risk of getting third-partied here by Sixel. I mean, look at the terrain we're having to work with here, Toby. It is just brutal uphill stuff here.
Sure is difficult to play around here, but that's why it's them doing it and not us. They know how to handle these kind of tricky situations.
They do indeed.
Or do they? Well, Sylvia was caught out in the open trying to make his way further forward. Did not account for Kasira's position as the solo player from Legacy is trying to see if he can salvage some more points in this match here.
He's managed to get the knock and the flush, and apparently E36 is just not in a position to do anything about it. As the smoke's still laid down, Gizera just trying to throw anything at the spot where he thought somebody might be or might have been. Pure Boy, good nade, gets close. That one's going to get right on top of him. Nicely placed by Pure Boy, and that's going to do it for Legacy.
Yep, one of the big players out of Japan, one of the big streamers of the region too. Able to get things going. Now that vehicle, not so much more HP on that side, but it did what it had to. It got him those 20 feet over towards his teammate.
All right, Pentagram. They've left a COD back in the... they're going to get spotted out by Star-Lord. What are they... He's just been so sneaky over here. Now Pure Boy and K going to be able to come over here and see if they can get a flank position on Pentagram. I wonder if Pentagram had any idea what they were pushing into here, because they are just aggressing super hard onto E36. They will get a trade there, and now Hikari will find K. It's all down to Star-Lord, though, as he tries to make his way through the smoke in the field.
Absolutely amazing timing on the peaks from E36 here now. They are taking casualties, which is not optimal, especially not when you see Luminosity's remaining players pushing in his direction.
Oh my, 17.
Pentagram will fall in the end of it as 17 is able to clean up Bollier and gets a piece of it as well. 4AM falls, and now here comes Xiao Wu pushing on forward again. They know they're wounded. They know there's limited players alive down here, and they have to pick a side of the circle. There are only 2 left alive. They cannot just sit dead center and wait things out no more. They have to be wise about it and make some space for themselves.
Xiao Wu just pushing out far enough just so that he could loot those boxes, get some more utility in the bag, because it is not looking good otherwise. So Star-Lord will get a chance to stay alive. Looks like E36 should be able to res their man, get back up the 3 strong. Purple Mood, meanwhile, they have complete control over this eastern side, and they are content with just holding on and just making sure that nobody over encroaches onto them.
Yeah. Starlord able to prone on down. No vest for Pure Boy. That's of course not optimal. Maybe there's one waiting for him on one of the other crates. One could only hope. If not, then you'd have to imagine he falls pretty quickly, as these guns do melt you if you don't wear a vest.
Indeed they do. Let's see where E36 decides to send things here.
Who will fall down to blue? He goes. Purple Mood in with a chance to win this one, but they have to take down Luminosity first.
Mime is the bulldog of Luminosity. He wants to be right in the front and center. He wants to be the tip of the spear, and he's going to push right in to see if he can find somebody. Get them slipping as damage will come in from the grenade. Force Purple Mood to pull off just a little bit.
Thunders.
Purple Mood keeps giving them a little bit more space. As you said, Thunder's still stuck off in the distance. And LG, they want to take this fight right into their face.
But he's not stuck. He's down there. He's set with the Grove. So this is the gun they need up close. Nice headshot coming through from Dogmatch, but they need Thunders up here to help them. It doesn't matter that you hold the flank anymore. They have the hill under control. Get close, get in there so that you can trade for your teammates. Trying to isolate now. They have the dot. The dot is on their side of the hill. It's LG who has to come to them. But here comes the flank, and here is Thunders in the position to potentially do something about it.
Thunders doesn't have an angle. Fluky was going to find Mime, though. That's going to be the original thing. Shotgun push from Tanawa. He'll find Rello, and just like that, Purple Mood gets the final win of the day 1 of Group B.
What a win for Purple Mood. And look at the fans. The entire family of all the players are here alongside all the Thai fans. Final match of the day. And what a way to finish off that day for Purple Mood. So close, so many times. And finally, against the odds, having to fight their way up the hill, they come out victorious.
I don't think very many people were looking at Purple Mood to be the team to keep an eye on today. I think they were thinking as, great, maybe around the middle of the lobby, maybe they'll get lucky on a couple of games and find themselves in good position. Not today, though. This has been Purple Mood all day long, having a great day. Let's throw it over to our analyst desk to wrap up day number 1 for Group B.
Purple Mood Gaming, the hometown heroes, put up when it matters most. You can hear the crowd in the background because they hustled, they fought, they took the high ground, and they came out with the chicken dinner. And I gotta tell you, all the Thai teams have looked amazing, Martin.
They have indeed. Super well executed by towards the end here, like a full 4-man stronghold. They're holding the angles, they're putting Thunders on the angle duty too. They're super well executed by them. I gotta say though, Shawu DD in this game here looked amazing. 7 kills to go his way. A powerhouse of himself just here. Gazera as well, fantastic day for him, for Legacy. Legacy overperformed to what I had expectations to for day 1 for them.
100%.
They have the players to do so, but for them to start like that, that's really important for them to start on a high note.
It's good for their confidence. Young team coming out of here, a region that has honestly been disrespected, I think, for the last couple of years. This is a chance to really stamp their performance, and they did it big time. Now let's look at the end game here. He pulls out the double barrel to end it. Look how psyched they are all day long. Every time they made a play, the fans cheered, parents in the crowd, and they got to do it in front of their hometown. They look good, and honestly, with PLM stepping up in this group, I feel like we're looking at a world where all of our Thai teams could be, if not the winners bracket final, the grand final with how well they've played.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. I mean, the support and the venue here, the fans are going wild. It's always good to have, teams, and it's like, it's every time. It's just the small things. A shot that hits. He got hit by 22 damage. They go crazy in the crowd, and now, of course, they're able to celebrate them here. It's good to see, and especially on the end of the day, now they can go out and kind of get mingle a little bit with everyone out there, family, friends, and everyone.
They get to go out there and celebrate. And I do want to give a shout out because we saw that sort of double barrel at the end, but Flucky, to me, has also been just an absolute star for this team. He's been playing that anchor when he needed to. He's been pushing when he needs to, and he's been getting those kills. But PLM, I think, for me, is just, I've been impressed with their reaction. Remember, we can go back to that Tago game. I thought they were out of it, but they were making smart plays, working the edge, being able to push in after teams, backfill when they needed to. And somehow, even in that game, they end up with the high ground and are able to play off of it so well.
Exactly. And on top of that, like, it's so good to see Dogman Bromance and Tanawatt here again, like a top-level competition. Beautiful for them to come in with this. Also, with somewhat hard circle as well, for them to stay 4 guys strong for that long is just super impressive too.
All right, let's take a look at the top 4 teams. Purple Mood Gaming in the front position, 10 kills, 1,700 damage, and 20 smokes. They did at the top of the mountain. I kind of thought to myself, how'd they get that? That's your answer right there. 20 smokes, good use of strategy, and they were able to lock up that position. 17 in second, going to be very happy with those 11 kills, and Luminosity only 3, but they do get those placement points.
They have been so consistent today, Luminosity, but they just haven't been able to clutch it out, and in these situations where it's been, but still, the consistency for them to get 40+ points today has been fine.
Consistency is good, but consistently middling is not going to win you a championship.
Better than having, 12 points after 6 games.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think as we look forward to the next stages, they're not going to be happy with that. These guys, however, very happy. Let's take a look at the winner chicken dinner team stats. Looking over there on the left, 529 damage. I mean, across the board, the entire team putting in work as they need to, watching each other's back. The way that they sort of force Xiaowu to play against, almost as a 5th member of their team to try to lock out Luminosity. These guys have their heads around it.
Yeah, and it's Fluggy, of course, for the man of the match. I gotta say, he's been impressive today.
Yeah.
And if they can keep this up going into it, it's easy winners bracket. Then the question is just really, are they going to be able to clutch another top 8 once they get to the winners bracket and go straight to the final from that? That's going to be interesting to see here.
It will be interesting to see. Let's take a look at the summaries at the end of our first day. 17 total kills.
Yeah, and Sixel to be on top here for total damage. That's quite impressive. A little bit of a surprise. 17, of course, total kills they've been able to frag out. Pentagram as well, 38, tied for that, but 17 was just a little bit more placement points throughout the day.
Yeah, we saw that with the Sixel thing. We saw that yesterday too. I think it was Exalt, where they were not where they would want to be on the leaderboard. They were still a top 3 damage dealer, just not closing the gap. But that's good news for the next time they come to play. Match leaderboard off the back of that one. 20 points goes the way of Purple Mood Gaming. 17 picks up 16. LG does get 9 because of placement. Sixel going to be happy with that 7 points, especially after all the damage that they've been doing today. And we do see Gen G kind of struggling. And again, Pentagram not making it into the top there. Let's look at the overall leaderboard. It's our first leader change of the day as 17 jumps up to first place with 60 points.
Yeah, and of course we were talking about this 75 to 85 points cutoff here. It's very top heavy. It's more teams that are sponging it up, and we can look all the way on our right side of the leaderboard. Our bottom 8 here, all the way down to Twisted Minds. Gen G still has a chance. It's 13 points from up to Sixel from Gen G, so it's just one good game with a couple of kills, right? And you're going to be in there, double-digit kills and a middling placement. So everything is open for them. Tomorrow we go into Miramar, of course, and it's going to be back to Group A. Miramar take over Candy and straight back to end it on a wrangle, as we usually do. So super excited to see what we're going to be seeing from Tianba and what Group A is going to be having for us tomorrow.
And I think that's it. Group A had a chance to sort of get their bearings, watch the teams play today, and come back tomorrow with a better plan. And because of how wide open that roster, how much I guess you say Tianba has soaked up and left it open for everyone else, anything can happen. And we're excited for that to take place tomorrow. So make sure you tune back in. I also want to thank Andaseat, the official gaming chair partner of PGC, the chair that elevates the gaming experience with ultimate comfort and exceptional performance. Choose Andaseat, choose the seat of victors. We're also sponsored by the King Power Group, leader in the travel retail industry. King Power, the power of possibilities. Loga Pro Esports gaming gear made with a unique design. And as a world-leading gaming brand, MSI stands out as the most trusted brand in gaming and esports. They are the official gaming partner of the PUBG Global Championships 2023, providing the PC hardware, monitors, and laptops as a designated hardware provider for this event. Tokanoi, live deliciously. And finally, #1 fast and reliable fiber internet brought to you by True Online. And we brought all of these, have made it possible for us to bring you some of the best PUBG I have seen in a very long time. It's PGC 2023 where the best have come to play, and I don't think really anyone has been dragging.
No, for sure not. I gotta say, first of all, of course, thanks to all the sponsors. All making this all possible, of course. Fantastic seats. We're sitting here. It's, usually we stand up, but here it's actually really comfortable sitting here. And I gotta say, what a fantastic first day for Group B. Exciting things, and honestly, for this year, PGC 23 is looking super exciting, and I feel like the competition is more even than it's ever been.
You know, and I think when the year started, people had questions about new maps, new gun changes, new equipment, like the emergency pickup. How does this new level of chaos really going to play into PUBG? And it seems like it's working. Even the players have just really enjoyed, I think, this new way to approach the game, new strategic options, new ways to play, and facing the challenge of 2 new maps, which again, Vikendi only recently entered the pool, and we're seeing that in these games where the players are sort of having to adjust on the fly, and it's kind of exciting for me to watch.
Yeah, and we've talked to the players, they're like, it's a bit of a wildcard map, but it's always awesome to go out and get you 20+ points on Vikendi or Takeo, even if it's a wildcard map. Now that we're playing 2 Erangel and 2 Miramar every day, still, it's super cool to see how these players adapt at such a high level, right? We have all these new additions. We have your emergency pickups. We had a balance throughout the year. Went from a plane to a helicopter. If you take the emergency pickup too late, you are getting absolutely lasered out of it, and you're not going to get to your place. So I feel like everything is very balanced. It's always exciting to see changes, but how fast these players are adapting to, you know, meta changes, if it's guns, if it's anything, it is so quick, and you can see how they adapt extremely quickly on the fly. And you know, even with gun changes, nerfs here and there, they're always min-maxing, and it's beautiful to see how well these players are controlling all the guns and all the meta changes that are getting thrown at them throughout the year.
It's almost giving them a passion again, because we see so many AUGs used right now. Maybe they move to something else, but that's it for today. Let's check.
ก็ในอันดับที่ 2 ของการแข่งขันในแต่ละวันนั่นเองค่ะดังนั้นไม่รอช้าเดี๋ยวเราไปพูดคุยกับเขากันเลยดีกว่านะคะ So as I mentioned about that, we're going to have the interview at the end of the match, of the 6th match, and at the end of the competition today. So right here, please welcome the 17 players. Woo! Hello, welcome. Hi. Okay, 你好. Xiao Didi. Okay, so for the first question, you're his translator. So you've got like a lot of idioms, right? And a jump to the top of the last watch. So what do you feel or want to say anything?
Okay. 所以就是在最后一局看到你通过那个击杀非常多的敌人，把我们的队伍从后面提升到了第1位。请问你有什么想说的吗？
提升到第1位当然是很开心嘛，但是我们最后一把还是做的不是很好，我觉得，自我觉得。
We're really happy that we're back to the first place, but there's still some minor mistakes at the last match, so we can do much better next time.
Look forward for it. And for the second question, right here for the first round, as you are one of the lead characters in the trailer, so do you feel excited with that? And when do you want to say, what do you want to say anything to your audience over here that watching our live now?
所以作为那开头片子里面的男主角之一，请问你有什么感想？且你对你的粉丝有什么想说的吗？
很荣幸嘛，然后很开心，然后对粉丝说的话就是谢谢大家一直以来的支持。
Okay, so what he said is he's really proud of being one of the 4 players in the trailer, and to the fans, he is really happy for their support, and he will do better in his next match days.
Wow. Okay, so we will look forward for 17 teams. So you've done a really great job today. So congratulations for the first rank. So thank you very much. Thank you.
恭喜。
谢谢。ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you very much. Okay, so next let's move to the second rank. Who's gonna be there? He's right here. That is Asla Pentagram. Woohoo! And right here with Adler. Hi. What do we say? 안녕. 안녕하세요. Okay. So for the first question is like, so after missing out on PGS2, what does it mean to you to get off the good start right here in PGC?
올해 PGS2를 놓치셨는데 이번 PGC에서 좋은 시작으로 한다는 게 어떤 의미인지 궁금합니다.
이번 PGC만큼은 저희가 여태 했던 경기 중 가장 진지하게 임하고 있기 때문에 그거에 대한 성과가 나온 거라고 생각을 하고요. 그리고 앞으로도 더 잘할 거라고 생각합니다.
Out of all the games that we played, this is the most sincere that we've been in all the games, and I think that we're gonna only do better from here.
Okay, so look forward, and as a team that's full with veteran talent, so what do you need to do to make sure that you still keep up this level for the performance of all the PGC?
이제 펜타그램이 이제 다들 베테랑 선수들이시고 그만큼 기량을 갖고 계신 선수들이신데 이번 PGC 내내 좋은 성과를 얻으시려면 꾸준히 어떻게 해야 되는지 궁금합니다.
일단 오늘 아쉬웠던 점이 확실히 PGC라서 변수가 너무 많았는데 그거에 당한 게 좀 아쉬워서 앞으로 그거에 대해 보완을 하면은 좀 더 좋은 성적을 받을 수 있지 않을까 생각합니다.
In PGC, there are a lot of random things that happen that kind of affect our results, and I think if we fix that, we will have very good results at the end.
Wow. Okay, so Acha fighting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for Asla Pentagram. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good rest. Thank you so much. เอาละค่ะแล้วก็สำหรับเมื่อสักครู่นี้ไม่ว่าจะเป็น17 players นะคะหรือว่าจะเป็น Asla เองเนี่ยก็ต้องบอกว่าทุกทีมนะคะพยายามอย่างเต็มที่มากๆเลยค่ะแล้วก็สำหรับในวันพรุ่งนี้นะคะเราจะได้พบกับ Group A อีกครั้งหนึ่งแล้วก็สามารถมาร่วมส่งกำลังใจทำไมเป็นกำลังใจนะคะทุกคนส่งกำลังใจนะคะทุกคนให้กับทีมไทยกันได้นะคะวันนี้ขอบคุณแฟนๆทุกคนมากๆเลยนะคะยังไงเดี๋ยวเราเจอกันใหม่ในวันพรุ่งนี้ห้ามพลาดกับการแข่งขันของเราสวัสดีค่ะต้องอย่างนี้ใช่ไหม
We'll be right back.